of the Doncaster Football Club from season 2011. Just having a look who it is. Chase Coates.
Yes.
Looked like copped a nasty knock to the head. Didn't move for a while. Very groggy. Just slowly getting up now. Damo, give me the chance to ask you a question.
Yep.
We called Mulgrave at Mulvogue up at Heights Reserve not too long ago. Mulgrave started off that game fantastically. They were kicking goals from the midfield. If this game plays out pretty similar and there are a lot of goals coming from the midfield, surely that plays in Doncaster's hands and not to the hands of the Lions.
Absolutely. You need to feel that Mulgrave need a key target, that key focal point in order to, I suppose, increase their scoring power, because they can't rely solely on the midfield when you've got the calibre of Doncaster players like Ben Johnson.
Booth and Coates become very important, as does Brad Fowler. If they can get their hands on the footy, if they can take marks inside 50, that Mulgrave Footy Club will be in the game for most of the afternoon. I don't think they can win the game if they're not sure in front of goal.
So as Coates makes his way off the ground, we'll no doubt have our life care boundary riders right on that scene. An update shortly, but it's Parker from the back pocket. Head out towards the wing position now. It's a one-on-one situation at the fall. The ball, Grocott was there, couldn't quite pick it up, goes in after it again. That was a really good effort there. Stokey, though, picked it up for the Lions. He was tackled by Schimmelbusch and will have a bounce just outside the centre square, in between both coaches. Andrew Tranquilli not playing in the reserves today. He's donned the long sleeve jumper a number of times so far in season 2014 and was nicely picked up by Roper at the stoppage. Got a little handball out, see Cavallas. He knocked it forward, picked up again by Roper, dribbling football over the boundary line and out of bounds. So another stoppage on here. 3 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Neither side has scored thus far as have a boundary throw in. Gladman had got the front spot and got the knockout Soupy. Johnson was right there on the hammer, but he couldn't get boot to ball. The kick goes up towards the Cheeseman direction. On the half volley, couldn't quite trap it. It lays the tackle nicely to force once again the ball up on Schimmelbusch, and we'll see that thrown up about 55 metres out.
Interesting to point out, boys, Ewan McKenzie is the loose man back in Doncaster's defence.
So 50 metres out from goal. It was nicely picked up there by Pearson, who just banged it on his boot, got it out of that danger zone, but gained some valuable meterage. Muller, he's going to be the first player at the ball, was able to pick it up, but it was a ripper tackle by Gilling on him. It spilled out eventually to Johnston. Had a little bit of time, had the poise on the left boot to shoot, charted up towards a half-forward line where Galache stretched nicely and took the mark about 55 metres out from goal. Now he'll set sail and kick it towards a hot spot, and why wouldn't you go that way too, towards the cheese? He eventually picks it up, tries to give the don't argue, fell over in the process. Lester was right on his hammer. The Lions might be able to get out of this one. There's about 20 players around the football here, Jamo. Nice little handball out wide. He got Stokey, got it back to Jamo, and now the Lions will be able to clear down the wing.
They have space as they stream forward in numbers. Mark taken by Gladman on the half-back flank. Assesses his options. Still got a bit of room to move. Then kicks it long towards an open half-forward line over the head of players as they lurch forward. A brilliant effort there by Fredericks to tap it over the boundary line and keep it in Mulgrave's forward half and force a throw in 40 metres out from goal, but they have a lot of space at the back, the Lions.
Very frenetic start, Damo. It just sounds like you're talking at 100 miles a minute here. The game hasn't slowed down, not even for a second. Just on. Not many stoppages so far, which is good to see.
Yes, seems as if the players are not easing into the contest. They're straight into it with maximum intensity as McKenzie wins the knockout for the Sharks. Almost laid a high tackle. Umpire said no free kick, and he'll call for a ball up as Goldsmith is wrapped up. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM and streaming live on EFL.org.au as the stoppage removes itself from the play again. Johnson got the hand pass out. Sia Cavellis links up with Parker, and Doncaster move it around the outer wing.
Alice
looking
boundary.
In the Pearson direction. It goes over the line. Let's head to our life care boundary riders for the first time this afternoon, and Alice Mulvogue.
Yeah, just an update on Chase Coates. He's seemed to have broken his jaw, which the trainers have identified, and does not look like he'll be participating in any of the rest of the game.
Thanks very much for that, Alice. That is a big loss, and you saw the knee from Parker go into Coates' face, and that's the result, a broken jaw as Johnson sees the ball over the line once again on the eastern wing here at Trams Reserve.
You can see in that Doncaster's forward line that Jocelyn Cheesy is one out with Tim Goldsmith, so I think Doncaster is more trying to clog up the Mulgrave forward line and trying to leave one out when it goes quickly into their forward line.
Niva Ruckman won the tap out from the stoppage, and a sea of players dive on top of the football and force yet another ball up. 60 metres around from the Lions' goal. Just starting to get a little more congested in the last couple of minutes. Just to slow the play down. Neither side scoring, and we've reached the 6-minute mark of this first term. Again, the Sharks move it out of the stoppage, but a couple of gang-tackled players move on and swoop onto that player in Zach Carroll for Doncaster. It'll be a Mulgrave free kick, and they move it deep inside their attacking 50. From the back, Booth jumped up high, crumbing the pack, was brilliantly played by Wazer, and he snaps a behind. Only a minor score. There were cheers from the back. Obviously, we're caught from behind the goals and the sails in the way, but it is a minor score. So Mulgrave, the first on the board, they're one behind. Doncaster are yet to score.
Ruining what was a fantastic call, Damo. So
no sense of theatre, Wazza.
Aaron Fiora, normally a beautiful kick of the football. Elects to go straight down the middle here, and they should have the numbers. Doncaster at the fall of the ball. Carroll couldn't quite release it. Schimmelbusch was there, and we'll have a bounce at centre half forward for the Mulgrave Football Club. Pye throws it up now. Mackenzie, Gladman, no clear knockout there, but Mackenzie sort of won the stoppage there. Tried to paddle it to Johnson, who knocked it on further to C. Cavallis, who tried to barge his way through traffic. Picked up by C. Coolers, kicks it inside forward 50 towards the Wazer direction. Out-muscled, outplayed by Pearson in the back pocket, and it was a strong mark by the Doncaster backman. Moves it on quickly. Johnson has had a few touches early. Johnson.
Yep.
It's quiet in the last radio game we saw earlier on in the year against the Waverley Blues, so stepping it up today, possibly Grocott. Tried to break himself through 2 tackles. Could have nearly been pinged for holding the ball. Eventually the umpire will come in and bounce this one, true centre wing position.
Very much modern footy, this one. The ball on one side of the ground, and that's where all the players are going. There's not a lot of guys in free space hanging out wide at the moment, which is why we're not seeing very much uncontested footy. I think the team that slows this game down first will be the one that will slowly get on top.
Well, Gladwin won the knockout against Kinnear, but Kinnear goes after it again. A lot of players around this football. It's crept up towards a half-forward line now. Colinari went in very hard for Doncaster, and the umpire will once again bounce it. Grant Campbell, thanks to our Choose Tap match stats.
Inside 50s, 5-1 in favour of Mulgrave.
Kinnear worked himself into the front spot to win the knockout there. Stacks on the mill, and we'll have another stoppage.
Just very willing, and a lot of ferocious tackling in this game already.
So the first score on the board went to the Mulgrave Football Club. That was one behind. We've gone nearly 9 minutes now in this first quarter, and we'll be Knowles from the back line to release it now for the Lions, and they've got a chance as the kick goes out wide, looking for the Jamo direction. It might be able to bounce up nicely for him here. Goes one way, then the next. Lead is on by Leicester. That was good. Took it. I said play on. Going backwards to go forwards here. Leicester eventually gets it, and now he'll kick the ball inside forward 50 towards the Cheeseman direction. He needs to stretch to mark it. He was almost there. Nicely done though by Mackenzie, the big man, to mop up the scraps. Short passes on, and now Doncaster will get a reprieve through Tom Fitzpatrick.
So Fitzpatrick on centre wing. Mackenzie acting as the swooper on the half-back line for the Doncaster Sharks as the kick goes out wide in the Johnson direction, and he takes the intended mark on centre wing, eastern side of Schramm's reserve. Bit of a breeze blowing from right to left on this ground as Johnson waltzes past his man on the mark, and a brilliant spear pass to his former AFL compatriot of Fiora, who sends a long ball towards full forward. Lumachisi at a one-on-one, defeated by his opponent in the contest in the end, and Mulgrave have the numbers. Parker goes in, Lumachisi spills it. Kick off the ground was a shocker, only a minor score, but at least Doncaster are on the board. They're one behind, matching Mulgrave, who are on the same scoreline, and we've gone 10 minutes in this first term.
Lumachese already looking dangerous. Just the first one-on-one that he faced. He could be the difference in a game like this, because for quite a big man who you think of as a marking forward, he actually does things that are quite mercurial. He doesn't mind getting the ball off his bootlaces and snapping goals around the corner and that sort of stuff. So he's an excitement machine, the people's cheese.
Do you think it would have been a more effective option to pick the ball up and maybe have a shot on goal instead of soccering it off the ground?
Maybe in that situation, but he had 4 Lions hot on his hammer. So,
I believe he should have got the free kick to begin with. I think there was a little bit of holding going on there. So, nonetheless.
Yes, very low scoring on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard thus far. One behind, a piece, just to recap. Big game this one in Division 2. A lot of ramifications as to the setup of the table in season 2014 as the Lions bring it back into the play, looking in the Fowler direction. The spoil came from the back. Hand pass comes from Butler to his teammate there in Booth. Hand pass out wide. They're working in a confined space. Fowler again retrieves it. A brilliant tackle effected by Anarkis on his teammate. Could force a turnover again. The second effort was brilliant. And Chris Anarkis forces a bounce 55 metres around from the Sharks' goal. Brilliant play just to lock it in his forward half. Let's head down boundary side for the first time to Claire Schnackenberg, thanks to Life Care.
Just an update on Chase Coates. There's an ambulance been called and he's going to be off to hospital with a trainer very soon.
Thanks very much, Claire.
Bad news.
Very unfortunate.
It's certainly not a story you want to hear early in a game, and certainly on an eve of a potential final series for the side. So the umpire throws it up. Kinnear might have given away a bit of a free kick here. I think he has. Young,
High tackle.
Tiggy Touchwood, but it's been
just trying to open it up a little bit.
Possibly that too. I'll have no complaints about that. The kick goes into the middle of the ground as Roper links up well. The kick goes inside forward 50 or thereabouts. Fiora was in position A and takes the mark now for Doncaster across centre half back. On the right boot, kicks it in towards the middle. Larche takes it and takes off too. Drives the ball up towards centre half forward towards the Lumachese direction. Had to use his body. He has to be hot to trot, but Jamo, he had the turn of speed. Picks up the scraps for the Lions and kicks it out wide now. They might have the numbers here. Lester on the right boot, driving kick up towards the half-forward line where he's looking for Butler, but it was a shank off the boot.
Foot skills are killing him at the moment.
Dribbled over the boundary line and out of bounds. 12.5 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard says 1 point to the Mulgrave Football Club. Doncaster yet to score.
Just more on Coates. Pretty disappointing from his point of view. The Mulgrave Footy Club actually have their last social function for the year tonight, the Mulgrave Cup. So unfortunately for Chase Coates, he'll be missing out on a good night with his teammates.
So the Lions move it forward towards the forward pocket. Leading in the race for the ball is Luke Parker, and he sees it over the boundary. So it'll be in Mulgrave's forward territory, deep inside their attacking half. They've done the bulk of it thus far in the opening 13 minutes, but both sides have one behind on the board.
I think possibly the girls could give us a wind update down there at boundary level, because it looks like a few of the trees are swirling out there.
So at the back, we'll get on to that as Jarvis wins the tap for the Sharks, but Mulgrave have the numbers at the back of the pack. The hand pass came from Siakoulis, a high ball deep inside the 450. It held up in the wind, in the breeze, and the mark taken by Carroll, deep underneath the high ball. And he kicks it towards centre wing, looking in the Shibblebush direction. Misjudged the football. His opponent, Willsmore, chases after it, but Doncaster have the numbers. Parker roaming through the corridor. He copped a high tackle and will receive the free kick. In fact, it's going in the direction of Mark Peduto, who gets his first touch for the afternoon. Switches it out wide, finds Rambaldi. Just assessing the options. It's a congested forward line. Rambaldi stuck in the mud heap, sends a long ball towards centre half forward, but he's found the intended target in the end. And leading up for the football there is Anarchis. Brilliant chip pass, finds Lumachese on the lead, and he takes the mark on the slide. He can go back and have a shot from 30 metres out directly in front. Let's head boundary side, thanks to Life Care.
Yeah, you just asked for a wind update. It seems to be going towards the Mulgrave end, though it's very windy just down on the ground. It seems to be maybe influencing the players kicking a bit, maybe?
Thanks very much, Alice. It perhaps will be. We'll judge it on this kick as Lumachese has a shot on goal. Perhaps that wind did carry the ball towards the left.
I don't think so, Damo. It came off his ankle.
It's only a minor score. So Doncaster do take the lead. They're two behinds. Mulgrave are 1 point on the board. We're gone 14.5 minutes in this first term.
It usually does tend to fly towards the practice cricket nets down here at Trams Reserve, so it's sort of affecting this side of the ground more so than the other.
So the kick from Young was an absolute shocker, but they might just get out of this here, the Lions, as the kick goes up towards the wing position. We've got a number 70 out there. I'm hoping one of the girls will be able to pick up that for us as the kick goes towards Gladman in the middle of the ground. Now the run of Siakoulis. He picks up the football, kicks it inside forward 50, looking for the direction of Wazer. Over the back of the pack, can it sit up for him? Bouncing football over the boundary line and out of bounds. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50 is now 10-5 in favour of Mulgrave. Mulgrave no marks inside 50 and Doncaster 4 intercept marks, mainly inside defensive 50.
And you just mentioned it, Grant, 10 inside 50s to Mulgrave to Doncaster 5, but because it's more dominant inside their forward 50 more than Doncaster have.
So the umpire throws it in, trying to break a tackle there was Carroll, and he'll be pinged. Oh, he got
high tackle.
High tackle received. I thought he might have almost got pinged for holding the football there, and nearly a 25-metre penalty given, but
should have been.
Umpire doesn't want a bar of that, as Carroll now goes back over the man on the mark.
Good kick.
Well, he had a couple of options, but it really went into no man's land, but it sat up nicely there for Mark Peduto. Hoods now kicks it up towards the wing position. It was a high floating kick. Gladman, he had the spoils. Now the Lions across the half-back line. Oh, they've lost the football here. Going in hard was Muller. Put his foot body over the line. They might end up coming in to bounce this one. It's very close to the boundary line. The good tackle over the back there by Cruz, and will No, it wasn't Cruz. Will have a bounce in front of the Mulgrave bench. Gladman made his way to the front spot. Johnson has done that a lot of times in his career, hasn't he? At the fall of the ball, kicks it up towards that very man in Muller, who takes it out in front. He's got strong hands. He'll kick it towards the Lumacheesy direction now. It's one out in the forward pocket. Uses his body once again. He's got to get into the front spot, though, to have more of a chance. And the Lions, through a long looping handball, goes out to Willsmore. He'll link up okay. He Knowles on the right boot, kicks it up towards the wing position, up towards the Cheeseman direction. It didn't go that far and was nicely knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds for another boundary throw-in. We've gone 17 minutes here in the first term. It certainly is a low-scoring affair, Damo.
Yeah, almost a soccer scoreline at the moment. Doncaster 2, Mulgrave 1. Very important game, this one, for both sides. A tap-out one for Doncaster by McKenzie, but Mulgrave win the clearance. Kick towards the half-forward flank in the Gladman direction. Caught behind is Pearson. Won the footy. They loop it over the top towards Schimmelbusch. Back it comes eventually to Pearson, who can assess the options and kick a long hoisted ball towards the half-forward line. Crumbing the pack was Collinary. Couldn't quite take it. He suffered a touch of the fumbles, and he's tackled by a couple of Lions and will have a bounce right on centre wing. The western side of Schramm's reserve. The umpires picked up a free kick. Let's hear boundary side, thanks to Live Care.
Just confirming, our mystery number 70 player is Mulgrave's William Currell. He's the normal 63.
Thanks very much, Claire. With the number update as Johnson wins it back for Doncaster, sends a probing kick inside the 50, but again the Lions have the numbers. Jamar can clear. The hand pass went over the top of Peduto's head and found the advantage of Fowler, who kicks it out wide. They've got numbers on the outer side of the ground here, the Lions. The kick eventually comes inboard, and the Lions can assess the options. It's a relatively open forward line. McKenzie has dropped back as a tall opposing number. The kick towards centre wing misses its target. Now Doncaster have the numbers at the full of the ball. Hand pass comes to Fiora. A spearing, worm-burning pass into the middle. Couldn't quite find the intended target in Pearson. Here's the Lions on ground level. Racing away is Tim West. A long ball towards centre half forward, looking in the Wazer direction. He fell to ground. They've got a couple of numbers back. Gladman chases after it. Looks inboard towards centre half forward, but Doncaster have the numbers and they can clear with a looping hand pass through Collinary.
And Galache has it in the middle of the ground, but his handball was beautifully smothered there by Knowles, who eventually got the handball out. Now Mulgrave will get another chance to go forward. The kick goes in towards the Wazer direction in the forward pocket. Ramboldi was right on his hammer, got a fist in just in the nick of time over the boundary line. It goes, and we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Doing a great job is Angelo Ramboldi. Played the majority of season 2014 as sort of a pinch hitter up forward, bobs up every now and then with 2 or 3 goals, but has been in defence today. He's chopped off a few Mulgrave attacks in the air, so good work from Angelo Ramboldi.
Gladman had the front spot there. Fiora got a little bit of a half volley. Currell's at the fall of the ball over the top there of Pearson's head as well. Peduto came in. He managed to pick the football up. Little handball over the top, raking a nice tackle there was Malloy, who linked up with the Fiora, who got it onto Kinnear, who got it onto Johnson. They've done that before as well. Has one bounce, so he probably just should have got boot to ball. Eventually Lester's right on his hammer. Goes after it again. Got a little boot back to Peduto. Picked up there. He was tackled by Siakoulis. He'll eventually win the football. Scrambly little kick out wide to his teammates' advantage there. And Butler got the handball up. Now the Lions kick up towards the centre half forward, was smothered, and now Johnson will get another chance for the Sharks to kick the ball inside forward 50, and that's the way they go. Good and kick. A good lead by Anarkas, who stretched at the right time and took it. He's about 45 metres out. Distance, well, he can certainly kick 50 metres. It's just whether he gets the purchase right. Chris Anarkas, both sides screaming for a goal as we reach time on here in the first term. He goes to Johnson, who's had a ton of possession early in this game. That wasn't certainly his best effort as he dribbles a kick to about 20 metres out. Getting down low was Young for the Lions to lay the tackle, and we'll have a bounce about 35 metres out from the Doncaster goal line.
This game being played completely on Mulgrave's terms at the moment. They're happy to lock it down. They've got more numbers in their defensive area. Anarka's constantly battling against 2 or 3 opponents at the same time. So the reasons why it's so scrappy is because that's how Mulgrave want to play the game, because they probably understand that the more open this is, the more it plays into Doncaster's hands.
Well, Kinnear gave a free kick away to Fowler at the stoppage, and now the ball sees itself up towards the wing position and over the boundary line and out of bounds. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Tackling being good from both sides. Mulgrave with 17 effective tackles to 13 Doncaster.
So the ball to come back into play. Decent crowd down here, Division 2 football. 2 real finals contenders taking the field this afternoon as McKenzie, the big man, gets wrapped up in a tackle. So Ray Baird would be chuffed seeing that. Two big men going at it. Kenzie loses the tap out that time to Booth. Kick goes up towards a half-forward line. Kinnear worked his way to the front. Might have almost copped one over the shoulder there. The umpire did see that, so... Well, he mucked around with it a little bit, eventually won his football back, and Doncaster now through the kick of Hill goes inside forward 50. Jamo made his way to the front spot nicely there for the Lions, but Semertzidis just ducked himself out of trouble, but once again fell over the big man, knocked it over the top. In the forward pocket, going after them was Malloy, fell over at the crucial moment. Anarchis came in, got it back to Malloy, broke one tackle, broke another. Peduto just keeps finding himself in the right spot. Does Peduto, kicks it up towards the forward pocket. It's a floating high ball. It's touched and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. So about 10 metres out from the Doncaster goals. Forward pocket.
Mulgrave have dropped a sea of numbers back here, Seymour. It's
have.
congested Doncaster's forward line.
It is. It's not helping, but I've noticed every time that Josh Semertzidis has got anywhere near the Sherrin, it looks like something is about to happen.
Well, Booth won the knockout. It came down towards the Cheeseman direction, who took it on, didn't take it on the half volley and was wrapped up in a tackle, and the umpires paid holding the football here, which I think could be extremely stiff, but it's certainly going Doncaster's way, and it's in the arms of Mark Peduto, who just gives off the handball there to Carroll, who set sail for goal. It was a floating kick across the face to Semertzidis there on the left boot. Can he bring it back enough? He kicks it across the face himself. Bouncing football, it stays alive, and now the Lions get their chance to move forward.
Kick goes towards centre wing in the Hesketh direction. He couldn't quite take it, and the Doncaster numbers proved too significant as Rambaldi takes the mark for the Sharks. Looks inboard towards the corridor. Mark taken by Pearson. Just get the sense that they're struggling to find an option deep here, the Sharks. Chip pass, finds Zach Carroll. Looks out wide to Fiora. He's a probing kick. Loops onto the left foot. A long ball towards the pocket. Jumping high there was Colinari. It was an errant jump.
Holding on Anarchis.
Yes, it's gone behind the play, so Anarchis will win the free kick, and he can have a shot on goal from 45 metres out, but it's a very acute angle.
That was fair enough too. They're just silly from the Mulgrave defenders. They had a 4-on-1 against Chris Anarchis again for probably the third or fourth time this quarter, and just wasn't allowed a clean run at the footy. And mind you, the kick from Fiora was centimetre perfect. Had he not been held, Anarchis probably would have come out and take the mark anyway.
One of the showcase players in Division 2, Chris Anarchis. Can he kick the first major of the afternoon from 45 metres out? It loops across the face of goal. Kinnear jumped high from the back. Mulgrave have the numbers at the full of the ball. It's deep in their defensive half, but they can clear it through West. A high ball towards the half-back flank, and the ball eventually trickles over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. We've gone 24 minutes in this first term. No goal scored. Doncaster 2 behind. Mulgrave with 1 solitary point.
Not going to be a long quarter, that's for sure.
Might be quarter time very soon, actually. Kinnear won the tap for Doncaster, forced to ground level. A lot of congestion over the football. No one can quite win it out of the barrage. Eventually a kick is hoisted high towards centre wing, but the Sharks have the numbers at the back, and the mark has been taken by Schimmelbusch, the rock-solid defender for the Doncaster Footy Club. So Matt Schimmelbusch chips it out wide. There's not a lot of targets up forward, so he has to opt to go towards the outer wing, and the mark taken by Rambaldi. Again, the Lions just locking up the play. Rambaldi kicks in hope towards the half-forward flank. Brilliant mark with the one hand. It just stuck in the mitt. That was Ben Kinnear, and he's taken it just inside the boundary line. Can wheel onto the right foot. Sends a spearing ball in the Semertzidis direction. Couldn't quite take the mark. It's fallen out the back. Mulgrave once again having the numbers, diving on top of the football in the scrimmage. No one can clearly take it. Booth tried to charge his way through. Eventually it's taken away by Semertzidis. He's trying to weave his way through a couple of tackles. He's unsuccessful. And we'll have the bounce deep inside the Sharks forward line. And there's the quarter time siren. 25-minute quarter, one of the shortest recorded for the year. And at quarter time, would you believe it, Doncaster 2 behinds, Mulgrave 1. We haven't seen the likes of it for a long time at Schramm's Reserve.
Usually be pretty happy if you doubled the opponent's score going into quarter time.
Well, we hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern, but this is the place to stay because there's a lot of games happening around the eastern suburbs in Divisions 4, 3, 2 and 1, so stay tuned. We'll go back to Barry Cotts in the Radio Eastern studios and then be back here on EFL Gameday with Dyson Baker, Will Taylor and the gang to give you all those important around the ground scores.
How would you like your coffin to look?
I'd like it covered with farewell messages from all my friends and family.
Can I get a picture of a beautiful sunset over the 12 apostles?
Make mine look like a smartphone.
I'd like black with a yellow sash and the words to the team song as well.
For the Tobin Brothers funerals, anything is possible, including a custom-designed and decorated coffin to celebrate your life. To find out more, visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor. Okay, boys, it's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend.
I'm not going to tank, Coach.
No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breeze tag. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor.
For all things EFL, The Huddle.
Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers. One of the punishments is you've got to get a spray tan the Friday night before a game.
Oh, nice.
Wash all the jumpers. And of course, he is Glenn Archer, and welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, guys. How you going?
If it was up to Dino, he's winning the league BNF, our BNF.
How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1 quarter.
6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
20-3, Radio Eastern 98.1. Barry Cott's back here in the studio, and we'll be back for the second quarter of our Doncaster Mulgrave game for Division 2 in just a moment. But time to check some AFL scores of games being played this afternoon, and one game is being played up there at Manuka Oval in Canberra. It's between North Melbourne and GWS. And at the end of the first quarter, it was North Melbourne 4-1-25, leading Greater Western Sydney 1-4-10. It's currently the 18-minute mark of the second quarter, and it's North Melbourne 6-2-38, leading Greater Western Sydney 3-5-23. Goal kickers for North, Cunningham has 2 and 1 each to Adams and Brown. And for GWS, Smith has 2 and Kelly 1. Now the other games this afternoon is Carlton and Gold Coast, and that's being played at Etihad Stadium. And it's currently underway. And it's the end of the first quarter, and it's Carlton 4-2-26 leading Gold Coast 1-1-7. Goal kickers for the Blues, Bell, Judd and Thomas have 1 each. And the single goal kicker for Gold Coast is Hall. And the other games this afternoon is at the MCG. It's a twilight game between Hawthorn and Melbourne getting underway at 20-5. And we'll keep you up to date right here at Radio East 98.1. It's EFL Game Day.
Have you got a premiership or milestone jumper that needs framing? Is the better half nagging you to clean up the man cave? Well, you're in luck. As well as being Australia's largest licensed memorabilia dealer, the team at the Authentic Autographs also do custom framing. From the deep rebated frame, the acid-free pins, the mount will not only look great, but won't damage your prized jumper should you want to relive the glory days. The team will also design a frame, including photos and all the important information, so you have no trouble bragging to the boys. Contact David on 0439 743 710. Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports.
For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
And welcome back to Shram's Reserve. It's been a pretty congested opening term, and the scoreline here in this big Division 2 clash sees Doncaster on 2 behinds and Mulgrave just the solitary behind.
Sorry?
Yes, I couldn't believe it either. You've been into the dark cloud, Seymour. I've been watching it. But no, it's a very interesting opening term.
Unfortunately, I have, Damian.
Despite the scoreline, it has been an interesting opening term. The fact that Mulgrave have shut Doncaster down and their scoring power has been depleted.
I think that quarter was a real win for Mulgrave and Ryan James and the coaching staff at Mulgrave, because obviously, Wilbur, they're playing the game on their terms. They're doing what they want to do. They've had more inside 50s than Doncaster, is that right, Grant Campbell, thanks to Tuesday for some stats that matter?
Yeah, the inside 50s, 13-11 in favour of Mulgrave. The hitouts have gone Doncaster's way, 16-11, but the clearances have gone Mulgrave's way, 14-8. The other two main stats, the intercept marks, 6-0 in favour of Doncaster, and the marks inside 50, 3-0 in favour of Doncaster, so they have been better in the air.
So that tells me that Mulgrave are working hard, but their foot skills are coming off half-back in that first quarter were nothing short of horrible. They almost shut themselves in the foot going forward on multiple occasions. But Doncaster, on the other hand, like I said to you during the ads there, Damo, that you can't win a whole game of footy playing like Mulgrave are at the moment. Their backs will break eventually. Let's head down the boundary side to Life Care, thanks to Claire Schneckenberg.
Hi, I'm here with Ryan James, coach of the Mulgrave
Lions. Having some volume difficulties.
Yeah, really happy.
What's the matter, guys?
I think I'm having some volume difficulties. I can hear Claire.
Well, just move on if you can't hear.
I can hear, like only just.
Yeah. Well, I think in that quarter,
Meltdown.
In that quarter particular, that Doncaster, especially late in that that first quarter, was that they were blocking up their half forward line when Mulgrave was kind of trying to kick in, and that's what's caused turnovers, which giving them the opportunity for Doncaster to get some scoring opportunities. So let's see what happens in this second quarter, because obviously Mulgrave without Chase Coates obviously won the matchup against Aaron Ferraro. It'll be interesting to see how Mulgrave really go in this second quarter without him.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of implications to the finish of Division 2. Do you think, Seymour, that Doncaster, with that in mind, can lift in this second term?
Oh, I think that they certainly can. I mean, they obviously had 2 scoring shots to 1, but they looked better up forward than Mulgrave did. They could have scored on multiple occasions. Semertzidis had a couple of shots that didn't make the distance. There was one that bounced out that went out on the full as well. So Doncaster's certainly looking more dangerous up forward. So if they can keep doing that, there's no reason why they can't just put a couple on the board and get some breathing space.
Start of the second term from Schramm's reserve. It's Doncaster by a solitary point. Mackenzie won the tap out for the ruck contest, and a free kick has been picked out. It might be advantage going the way of the Sharks. It is too, as Pearson hacks the ball towards centre half forward, looking in the Anarchist direction. It's a fickle bounce in the Semertzidis direction. He takes it, gives the hand pass off. A shot on goal for the Sharks. Is this the first major of the afternoon? Yes, it is, and it's through the aid of Steve Muller. So Doncaster finally with first blood in the opening seconds of the second term. They lead the Mulgrave Footy Club 1-8 to the Lions 1 behind. Finally, we're on the board, boys.
Yeah, it's a quick clearance. I think that was the difference there. Damo. No time for Mulgrave to get back and flood the forward line. But that man, Josh Semertzidis, involved again, and a great finish from Muller as well. That was a good goal. Wilbur?
Absolutely, and I think that was the way we wanted to see Doncaster playing that first side, which they showed really glimpses of it, but it finally got clicked in that first passage to play.
Let's quickly go down boundary side thanks to Life Care. Alice Mulvogue.
Yeah, I just listened into the Doncaster quarter-time huddle, and they just spoke about how happy they were with the work effort. And although that hadn't translated to the scoreboard, how they just need to keep it up in this quarter, and obviously that has translated with the first goal of the second term.
Thank you very much, Claire. Currell picked the ball up. Booth was down there as well. The ball's in the half-forward line now for Mulgrave.
Oh, is Alice down there?
Apologies, Alice. Told the girls I'd try my best not to mix them up all day, and I've done it on the first cross. Unbelievable as Booth takes it from the stoppage, barged his way through, got a little handball out. That was okay. Stokey went without before he had the football. Doncaster through Schimmelbusch, picked the ball up. Nice tackle there by David Wazer. The ball eventually spilled out to West. Can he get boot to ball? McGarnis is right on his hammer. West goes after it again. Eventually the ball goes right next to that boundary line / behind post, and I think it actually hit the bottom of the post, so we'll have a boundary throw in. So Mackenzie versus Booth. Third man up, Cheeseman won it in the end. Came straight down though to Johnson. So Ben Johnson seems to have an eternity in the end, and the kick will have to be good, and it is. James C. Cavallis takes it across the half back line in front of Siakoulis.
It's a tongue twister.
Certainly is. The ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, almost on the wing position now. The kick wasn't too crash hot, and seen over by Knowles.
Let's go around the grounds with Dyson Baker.
Sharp from you, Will Taylor. I like it. Blackburn 5-8-38 lead South Croydon 1 straight 6 at quarter time. Vermont 6-5-41, 23-point leaders over Scoresby 3 straight 18 in Division 2. Bayswater 5-4-34 lead by 32 points over Doncaster East, 2 behinds 2 points. As we know, the radio game 2 behinds to 1. It was at quarter time. Heathmont 4-1-25 lead by 18 points over Glen Waverley 1-1. A 4-point ball game, Upper Ferntree Gully 2-5-17 lead Ringwood 2-1-13, and at 3-4-22 Boronia leads South Belgravia to score.
Well, it's deep inside the attacking territory for Mulgrave. The Sharks have the numbers at the fall of the ball. Eventually, no one can quite get it out of the scrimmage. Schimmelbusch eventually rushes it through for a behind, and it's a minor score. So Mulgrave move to 2 behinds. They trail Doncaster 1-2-8 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Dyson, some more scores?
Yeah, the last couple of scores in Division 4, I think due to the lessened scores in the first quarter, we're ahead of every other game in the league at the moment. Ferntree Gully 6-6-42, lead by 41 points over Nutter Wadding, 1 behind 1 point, and Warrandyte 6-2-38, 30-point leaders over Surrey Park 1-2-8.
We'll see Cavallis kicked it into the middle. Gladman pinged it back up towards the half-forward line now for Mulgrave, and that's where the ball will be thrown back up.
It seems like Doncaster is really clogging up Mulgrave's forward line, which Mulgrave just can't seem to get in their forward line.
Well, the kick to the hot spot, about 40 metres out from
mark.
goal. What a sensational mark there by Matty Schimmelbusch, who wastes no time either. Hot to trot, got it away to Rumboldi, who's got a little bit of room to move here. He needs to get boot to ball because he almost ran too far. The kick goes towards Anarkas. There's definitely holding on there. And Chris Anarkas wins the free kick about 10 metres out from goal. Advantage will be paid, and he slams through his first goal of the afternoon and kicks it almost into the afternoon function.
Yeah, the coterie group they've got going on this afternoon.
Fantastic bit of play there, though.
Knocked over someone's jug.
Just a smart footballer, isn't he, though, Paul? Because when the kick wasn't for a lead per se, but it was into the position where it created a one-on-one contest, and he just had his bum in the right position. He was standing in front and won the free. And
that's just the mark of a great man. I think Jamo's actually got the job on Anarkas. He seems to be next to him every time the ball goes near the 2. It just shows how worried they are about Chris Anarkas. They know he's just an absolute superstar, and he almost had to hold on to him. The Aussie was going to get away anyway.
Doncaster 2-2, Mulgrave 2 behind as we see it out of the middle. Ramboldi again getting into the action in this second term, but Mulgrave have the weight of numbers through Fredericks. Swings it round his body towards the half-forward flank. A 2-on-2 contest. McKenzie, brilliant roving from the big man. Gets the hand pass out wide. Fiora evades a couple of would-be tacklers. Eventually gets the hand pass back, and the Sharks can move it forward. It's a Twizzly ball towards the centre wing position. Kinnear caught behind. Gladman takes the mark in front for the Lions.
Is that a word?
Wow.
Looked like that candy, the Twizzler. Mark taken by Young on the half-back flank. Can switch the play across the half-back line for the Lions. Eventually finds his target in Gilling. Looks out wide. Jamar takes it just inside the boundary line. And he can hold the play up and look for a couple of targets. He wants to run. Chips it back inboard towards centre half-back. Gilling takes the mark. Just settling it down here, the Lions, but it didn't work out. They turned it straight over, and Lumachisi takes the mark. Swings it round his body, a little dribbling pass in towards the pocket. Kept in play by Anarkas. Brilliant evasion. Swings onto the left foot.
Clever.
Kick towards full form was brilliant. All on his own, Zach Carroll kicks the third major for the Sharks. That was clinical play, and Doncaster 3-2-20 lead Mulgrave 2 behinds. They're establishing a buffer 4 minutes into the second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And coming off that turnover from Mulgrave, you could see that Mulgrave was trying to get back, but Doncaster really some fantastic plays, including Zach Carroll, really spread, and it resulted in a 3-on-1 and an easy goal as a result.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Doncaster 3 goals from 3 inside 50s this quarter. Certainly a welcome change from what we saw. But yet they trailed inside 50 camp 4-3.
For whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to be as congested as it was in the first quarter. I don't know whether Mulgrave have just decided that enough was enough and it's no point dropping players back anymore, or it's just the way that Doncaster are running and spreading and working harder around the footy.
That came from a turnover, though, so I think it was their own doing.
The way the first quarter was played as well, you didn't think it was going to continue like that for too much longer as Malloy spilled the football, but I think he might have won the free kick here, or was it going to go back to McKenzie? Instead, it might go to Sia Coolers. It does. Middle of the ground, we eventually worked it out, and he wasted no time either as he drives the ball inside forward 50. It was a floating kick, but it might work out okay here as Wazer gets a little handball up towards the west direction. He couldn't quite pick up the football. Parker goes in. He picked up a clean football in the end. Little handball out wide. That was good play. On the right boot, they get out of that danger zone, and Carroll takes the mark for Doncaster across that half-back line. Moving it on now. That was a good kick, Schimmelbusch. Certainly having a good game so far, but as sometimes it does, the disposal let him down here. Sia Coolers also having a good game early in the piece, drives the ball inside forward 50. Doncaster have the numbers at the back of the pack, and the clearing kick sort of went to no man's land, and Sia Coolers saw the opportunity to knock the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds and win the stoppage. So 7.5 minutes gone here. Handy lead to Doncaster. 3 goals in the second term and a 3-goal lead to boot. Umpire throws it in. Gladman got a little handle on that one. Lester dribbled a kick inside forward 50. Bouncing football right near that boundary line. Wazer leads out the race, but the paint beats all players, and we'll see a boundary throw in.
Does seem more congested though, Will. Luba, Cheesy and Anarchis the only players inside the 50 for Doncaster.
Yeah, look, I think the Doncaster philosophy is to try to clog up Mulgrave's forward 50, and they're using double, triple teaming, especially on the Mulgrave's ball. Use inside Mulgrave's forward 50.
Both sides really working in numbers today. See a lot of tackles being laid by 1, 2 and 3 players as the umpire throws it up. Johnson screaming for a bit of a free kick here, but Ramboldi somehow released a handball out wide. That was okay, but Leicester letting his opponent go anywhere in Parker, and we'll have a bounce just inside the centre square out here at Shram's Reserve. Hope you're enjoying EFL Game Day. It's a 3-goal lead to the home side, but Siakoulis wants to do something about that as he kicks the ball inside forward 50, and it was absolutely bang on too. And a man who's been really presenting well, David Wazer, in this first quarter and a bit. Paul Semertzidis takes the mark, and the short passes on now. He obviously wasn't too confident in his approach, and well, why wouldn't you kick it to your full forward as Booth comes out, and he'll have a shot on goal from about 35 metres.
Yeah, Wazer's been probably Mulgrave's most dangerous looking forward so far this afternoon. I think they've gone to him more often than anyone else up forward, and he was pretty good then in the one-on-one. But that was the thing, Damo. We didn't see too many one-on-ones up forward inside the first quarter.
So Booth comes in, an important kick for his side, and he kicks it straight over the goal umpire's head. He's used to doing that, and he kicks Mulgrave's first goal. It took them almost a quarter and a half to do so, but on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they moved to 1-2-8. It's back to a 2-goal margin here. Doncaster 3-2-20.
You can see that was the first opportunity Amber actually had a chance in kicking for goal, because Ben Nagamis is absolutely strangling him at the moment in the first quarter and a half, and obviously, Dave Wazer, his matchup is Luke Park, and Luke Park has done a fantastic job so far.
He certainly has been very valiant across the ground, certainly with his marking power and just influence around the scrimmages. It's been one of those games where it suits Luke Parker, as we're back in the middle. Mulgrave with their first blood, but Doncaster want to change that and get their 4th goal on the board. A free kick's been picked out of the stoppage. It's going away at Mulgrave for holding the ball, and the recipient is Knowles, who sends it out wide in the direction of his teammate in Roper. Couldn't quite take the mark. Kick off the ground from Fiora, sees some respite, and we'll have a throw in on centre wing on the eastern side of Shram's Reserve.
Anarchis has spent absolutely no midfield time this afternoon. He's currently, I think he's playing more at he's in the forward pocket at the moment, but he's lining up at full forward. Don't think Jamo would be too happy with that. I mean, Anarchis got far too much class in front of goal.
Well, Gladman won the tap down, and once again a stoppage is being called as a couple of players are wrapped up. Certainly a congested type game, this one. Although perfect conditions on this Saturday afternoon thus far. Mackenzie won the tap out, and a throw is being called. It's going against the Sharks, and the recipient for Mulgrave will be Siakoulis.
Big quarter.
He's having a lot of the football.
Absolutely. He's accumulating those possessions on centre wing. Siakoulis. Been one of the highlights of Mulgrave's season, certainly in their resurgence in the opening weeks, but he's obviously coughed it up with the hand pass. Eventually tried to lay the tackle to rectify his mistake. Wins the football back. Kinnear wraps him up. And eventually we'll have a bounce. I always seem to put the moz on these players. You give them a wrap, and then they ruin it for you.
Have a look at the size difference between Siakoulis when he was in a big bear hug from Benny Kinnear. It looks like he was about to envelop him.
Speaking of bear hugs, Kinnear won that one and got booted ball out of the stoppage. A bit of a fresh air shot in the end, but it was nicely picked up there by Young. Made it look like he had a lot of time in the end and swung a kick out wide where it's been taken by Roper, who swings around on the right boot, sends a ball inside forward 50, but getting it back into position A was Maganas. Short pass over the top. I think that might have even been Parker then as the kick comes out towards Pearson. Takes it. It's the half-back line. Short passes on. It's okay. See Cavallis, centre half-back now for Doncaster. Avoiding the corridor a little bit here today, although Jarvis presents in there and he takes the mark. What Humphrey wants, Humphrey gets, and he's a little handball away. That was okay. Kick swings out wide towards the Ramboldi direction.
Been good.
It has to be quick here, which is what a usual trait of his. Goes after it again. Gets rid of the handball now. Nearly could have been pinged. Doncaster will get a chance now through C. Cavallis. He went nearly too far without the football, and eventually he got pinged with Grocott running onto it. But the umpire said bring it back, and Mulgrave through Knowles on the right boot now. Oh, long, beautiful kick out towards the Gilling direction, and had enough weight in it for him to run onto it too as Gilling drives the ball inside forward 50. It was a good kick too. Booth had one bite at it. Oh, Wazer's copped one on in the shoulder for his troubles. It was accidental, but it was certainly there, and David Wazer will go back and have a shot on goal for his first of the afternoon and to reduce this margin to just back to one kick.
Yeah, he's been very good this afternoon, and obviously Luke Parker's a fantastic player in his own right, but at the moment Dave Wazer's really putting a stranglehold.
It's been difficult with this twisterly wind this afternoon, but Wazer makes it look ever so easy, and he puts it over the goal umpire's head for his first of the afternoon. That's Mulgrave's second, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 15-minute mark almost, we'll make that 14-minute mark, and it is back to a one-goal margin, Will Taylor.
Absolutely, and Mulgrave is starting to use the ball in their forward line more properly than what they played for pretty much the first half of this second quarter, and also that the whole of that first quarter.
Well, I think Doncaster would be pretty disappointed to give up 2 goals like that. They had most of their 10 minutes of the second term, and it looked like they were almost just going to go about their business nicely for the next 3 quarters. But no, full credit to the Lions, and they've got playing the footy that they want to play, and they're absolutely dominating out of the stoppage situation.
Well, Mulgrave reducing the deficit to a goal as we're back in the middle, and a free kick has been paid to Mulgrave for a holding the ball decision against Mackenzie.
Fowler.
And the recipient is indeed Brad Fowler from the middle of Schramm's reserve. He's got a couple of options deep. He looks in that direction. It's a 2-on-1 contest at centre-half forward. Brilliant spoil from Fiora. But again, Mulgrave have the numbers. They read the play well through Jamar. Gilling, brilliantly done in a tight situation. It's a vacant square. They've got the numbers. Picking the ball up is Wazer. Swings it round his body and scores a level again. Mulgrave with their third major. They're 3-2-20, matching Doncaster on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've gone 14 and a half minutes in this second term.
Absolutely, and Mulgrave really started to put the pedals on Doncaster. I love to know the stats from Grant Campbell on the clearances, because every time that Mulgrave's won the clearance, it goes inside forward 50, and they're using the ball a lot easier and more flowy than ever.
A bit undisciplined as well, the Sharks. I've noticed the last 5 or so minutes that Mulgrave, the recipient of a few free kicks in and around the stoppage as well. So they're getting free use of the footy out of the centre, which AT wouldn't be too happy with for Doncaster.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. It's all square as Galache will go after the football. A bit of a wrong and sees it fall in the hands of Kinnear across the centre-half forward line. After there was Cheeseman. He overran the football, and Jarvis lays a good tackle just inside the centre square. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Same story as the first quarter. Doncaster winning the hit-outs 8-6, but Mulgrave winning the clearances 9-6.
Well, Booth won that one over the top of Kinnear, and he eventually got the handball back, but he had to be pulled apart by Zach Carroll and Kinnear in the process. And once again, we'll have a bounce. Booth, Kinnear, we'll give that one to Kinnear. Nicely done there by West. Little handball over the top, and now this is Fredericks on the right boot. It was a spearing pass, and it was a good one too as Roper takes it. He's done all right too, leading out in front, swings around on the right boot. It was a decent old kick too. The ball floated up in the air, so it had a lot of time to create the spoil as Jarvis is back there. Doncaster have the numbers as the kick goes across the face of goal towards Galache, who got paid the mark probably before he pulled it in, but certainly was there. So they've switched it across to the coach's side of the ground, and they decided they don't like that side of the ground, so they'll go back the other way here, as it's a dangerous switch as well, as all of a sudden a foot race is created here off the ground there by Schimmelbusch. Goes up towards the half forward line. Leading out in front was Matt Young for Mulgrave, seeing it over the boundary line and out of bounds right near that Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which sees it as all square. Had a pretty good run of late with the radio game right throughout season 2014, and we're hoping, Damo, that
who's responsible for that?
This is no different. That's always about the team, mate.
That's it. Kinnear got the hand pass down, brilliantly tapped towards Anarchis as the kick went in his direction, but it beats him to the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in deep in the forward pocket for the Sharks. Tell you what, a couple of their forward entries have been a little errant in this quarter, Seymour.
Yeah, Chris Anarchis was out by a mile then, but Zach Carroll streaming through. Only just missed it. There was only a couple of inches in it. Jeremy Grocot's the interesting one. He's been a fantastic little goal sneak up forward for the Sharks this year. I don't think he's had a possession yet this afternoon, so he'll be looking to get off the chain and really enjoy a good second half here.
Well, they're struggling to retrieve the ball from behind the cricket nets. Eventually it does come back. Once again, you're going to love the local football atmosphere. So a throw in deep in the Sharks forward line. just get the sense that they need a goal to stem the flow to an extent. Kinnear missed the tap out. Eventually it falls out the back in the direction of Fredericks, trying to run onto it, but Doncaster have the numbers. Johnson weaves his way through traffic, got the hand pass out in the direction of Colinari. Tried to do likewise, lost the football. Schimmelbusch races after it, but the Lions have the weight of numbers. Hand pass comes out to Stokey. Now Sia Cavellis gets it onto his boot. In fact, it's Sia Koulis towards centre half forward in the direction of Currell. Couldn't quite take it. Chasing after it there is Cheeseman, but Doncaster again with the numbers. Fiora composed, kicks it out wide towards centre wing, and Doncaster have free players to link up with as Johnson takes the ball on centre wing, looks in the direction of his teammate in Grocott. It was spoiled away from him in the corridor. Mulgrave have the numbers. Leicester picks it up. He's gang tackled. Umpire will call for a bounce, and that gives us a perfect opportunity to head boundary side thanks to Life Care and Alice Mulvogue.
Yeah, we have a bit of an injury update. We've
Yes.
just had Angelo Rambaldi come off clutching his eye, which is bleeding, and we've just currently got a Mulgrave player coming off.
Yes, indeed. It looks as if it's a facial injury.
Yeah, Tim Knowles holding his nose, which is heavily bleeding, I think, by the looks of it.
Certainly a long casualty list, BWS.
Yes, Jamo got it out wide to Butler. Went to go back to Jamo, and Arcus came in for the Sharks. Had a lot of time in the end, did Chris. Got the handball
Always
back.
does.
Nicely done there by Carroll. They're linking up through the middle here. This is Pearson on the right boot. Kicks it up towards a half-forward line where Lumacheesy's got to come in and put his body on the line because he had two lines to beat at the fall of the ball. This is Cruz. Takes off and kicks it up towards the half-forward line over the top of McGarnis's head drop. What he normally maybe would have taken there. Roper up towards the half-forward line. Going after it now is West. He's got a little bit of time. Does West. Snaps it around the body. Bouncing football. Which way will it go? It was nicely done by Schimmelbusch to force the rush behind. And over she goes. But it is now the lead to the Mulgrave Football Club by that solitary point on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've reached time on here in the second term. 3-3-21 plays 3-2-20.
So the clearing kick for Doncaster. It was dropped at the end at the back by Sia Cavellis. He's claimed by a couple of lines and will have a bounce on centre half forward. In fact, it was Fowler at the back. And we'll have a bounce at centre half forward for the Mulgrave Football Club. All set in motion. Jarvis won the tap out. Brilliantly roved by Sia Koulis, but the hand pass was ineffective. McKenzie trying to barge his way through. Johnson was claimed. No free kick as he was held on to.
Stuck in the clay.
Leicester, they are in the glue pot, aren't they? And a free kick has been picked out in the centre of the ground. And a bit of feeling here between McKenzie and his opponent in Gladman. It's going to come back for Mulgrave to Sia Koulis, who just waltzes forward, kicks towards the pocket in the direction of Wazer. He fell to ground at the crucial moment. Fiora dives in. Marganis is there as well. A free kick's being picked out, holding the ball. And it'll be a Mulgrave shot on goal from 45 metres out. And this can give them the lead. Let's head to Grant Campbell thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50s, 15-6 in favour of Mulgrave, and they've changed their game style a bit. They were going at one kick per handball in the first quarter. Second quarter, they've had 36 kicks and 15 handballs.
So David Wazer will have a shot on goal from 45 metres out. It'll be a very acute angle to contend with, as well as the breeze, which has been fickle this afternoon. Wazer from 45 metres out, hoists it high. It's long. Is it straight? Hasn't quite got the carry. It's marked right on the goal line. And it won't be a score. McKenzie taking it on the last line of defence. Kicks it out wide. Wazer chipped in to intercept. And it was good play to lock it in the forward line. It'll be a throw in right in the forward pocket for Mulgrave.
Let's head around the grounds with Dyson Baker.
Yeah, got most of them now, boys. Baldwin 10-1-61. 55-point leaders at quarter time over Knox 1 straight 6. Blackburn, as I mentioned before, 5-8-38. They lead by 32 points over South Croydon. Noble Park 3-3-21 lead Lilydale 3 behinds 3 points. Montrose 6-2-38. 27-point leaders over East Ringwood. Vermont lead by 23 points at quarter time. Bayswater 5-4-34 lead by 32 points. 2 behinds 2 points Doncaster East. East Burwood 4-3-27 15-point leaders over the Waverley Blues. And in Division 3, Heathmont 18-point leaders over Glen Waverley. Upper Ferntree Gully 4-point leaders over Ringwood. 2-5 plays 2-1. Templestowe 7-2-44 lead by 35 points over Chirnside Park 1-3-9. Boronia kept South Belgrave scoreless. They scored 3-4-22 themselves. Mitcham 7-9-51 34-point leaders over the Bears 2-5-17. Wanchurna South 3-6-24 13-point leaders over the Pioneers 1-5-11. And in Division 4, Ferntree Gully 6-6-42 41-point leaders over the Titans. Forest Hill 4-1-25 kept Park Orchard's goalless, 18-point leaders. Park Orchard's 7 behind, 7 points. Sylvan 8-2-50, 36-point leaders over Kilsyth 2-2-14. And Warrandyte 6-2-38, 30-point leaders over Surrey Park 1-2-8.
Great stuff, Dyson. The ball's in the forward line for Doncaster now. It was a bit stagnant in that part there. They had the chance, though, as Gilling linked up in the middle there to Cheeseman, who got it on to Leicester. On the right boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Intended target out there was Roper, but he's got Fiora right there, and who was leading the chase as well. So he sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Half-forward line for Doncaster.
I can sense a bit
for Mulgrave, I should say.
I can sense a bit of a change in regards to how the first quarter, second quarter has been played so far, with Mulgrave patiently going in there forward for him, Doncaster just bombing it.
Well, Johnson did well to link up in the middle of the ground, and he takes off again. Does Ben, kicks it up towards the Lumachese direction over the top of his head. He had Cruz right on his hammer. Jamo's going to lead the chase here for Mulgrave. He'll probably want the safety of the boundary line here. He does so. And a nice little nudge by the Cheese. Sees him over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Doesn't Johnson's run evoke memories of his Collingwood days?
It certainly does.
Absolutely.
Gets me excited.
You're wearing a Bulldogs beanie. Doesn't even make sense. The umpire throws it in. Maybe he's telling us about a bet that he lost. That we had something to do with that, as the kick goes out wide to Butler. Only hear about the wins. You're a true gambler. As the kick by Doncaster goes inside forward 50 to the Lima Cheesy direction. There was holding it back. The umpire missed it. Kick off the ground. Well, that was by Young and through for a rush behind in the end. And well, Josh just letting the umpire know that he was just being felled upon there, and sporting a decent old mo there is Luma Cheesy. So the kick comes back in now for Mulgrave. Not long to go, you would think, in this second term, as the kick from Jamo was crash hot too. Fredericks takes it across the half back line. Plays across centre half back in Fowler, and he screamed for the football. He's usually got really good hands, took the mark. So he'll go back now.
They're doing well just to set the play up from the back now, Mulgrave.
Yeah, they are really, as Young donning the orange boots this afternoon. Had a little bit of time with a nice shepherd there from Currell. Move the ball forward. Running now is Gilling on the right boot. Gave the old don't argue and kicked it up towards centre half forward at the fall. The ball west kicks it inside forward 50. It was an up and under kick. It was a bit of a haymaker in the end, but the big man Booth might be the first player to go after this one. Going in hard there was McGarnis as well. Nicely done there by Fitzpatrick. He showed really good poise then. Got the handball away just in the nick of time to Malloy, who handballs over the top now. Now Doncaster seem like they've got the time and create another attack. The kick goes up towards the wing position to the Sia Cavalis direction. A big fly over the back was to no avail by Butler. They've got the numbers through Gilling, though, the Lions in the half-back line. He kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. It was intended for Jamo, but it was nicely done there by Stoke. He got the handball across to Sia Coolis, but he was nicely tackled by Carroll, who went after two brilliant tackles by Carroll. Won the football. Doncaster, they'll get up if they can spill it out here as Jamo goes after it again. Anarchis in the middle, scooped on the football, kicks it up towards the half-forward line, bouncing football. Which way is this one going to go? Luma Cheesy goes after it. Got brought to ground in the end. Handball out towards Galache. He's a clever footballer. Can he put it through on the left boot? Pushes it to the left-hand side, and a minor score is the result, giving Doncaster the lead once again here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've gone 26 minutes here in this second term, and it is a 1-point ball game.
Take a bow, Zach Carroll. That was sensational in the middle of the ground. Wrapped up Dean Siakoulis, who was off and running for all money, and then grabbed the next bloke and dumped him into the ground. Created a scoring opportunity for the Doncaster Football Club.
Matt Young, the designated kicker for the Lions, finds the target in Siakoulis. Hand pass out wide, looking for his teammate in Fowler, who was claimed, but got it back to Siakoulis. He's been impressive in this second term. Torpedo punt towards centre wing. Over the top, Roper couldn't quite take the mark. Tried to follow up his own ball. Hand pass comes out. Lumachese trying to barge his way through there was Gladman, couldn't quite take it. Doncaster have the numbers now. Colinari, they link it up through the wing. A long ball from Young towards Muller. And Muller takes the mark over the top. That was a quintessential high mark. He can go back and have a shot from 45 metres out, and only a slight angle to contend with.
Had his name written all over that one.
Indeed. Wasn't that good ball movement?
It was crisp. It was one of the first times for the afternoon you've seen that real crispness from Doncaster, and they're able to create the one extra inside the forward pocket. And you're right, BWS did just floated across the back and just clunked it perfectly.
Steve Muller can shoot for his first major of the afternoon from 40 metres out on the half-time siren. It looks as if he's converted. He has. And Doncaster, as a consequence, take a 7-point lead into the major break. They're 4-4-28, leading Mulgrave 3-3-21 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
That was a quarter of almost two halves, almost 3 or 4 halves, or 3 or 4 quarters. Doncaster started off well. Mulgrave rested it back into their favour. They played some good footy for a while there, and the last 5 minutes of that second term was all Doncaster.
Yep.
Just rewards for their effort. They lead at half-time by the 7 points, and Damo, that's a pretty true reflection of what we've seen.
Indeed. And it's been a great game here at Trams Reserve BWS, one that we have to keep an eye on in the second half.
We certainly do, Damo. 2 goals each to David Wazer and Steve Muller. So they're the leading goal kickers on the park this afternoon for their respective sides. It's half-time out here at Trams Reserve for the big clash between Doncaster and Mulgrave, thinking this one might just go down to the wire because it's been a very good game so far. It's a fair old call too. Time to cross back to Barry Cotts in the Radio Eastern studios, because after this we'll be back with all those important around-the-ground games as you go local for your football on this Saturday afternoon.
Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. They not only consistently have the best retail prices and customer service in the business, but are the ideal partner for your next club or community function. Their range is the most extensive in the industry, and with prime access to all the newest ranges through to one-off items, they have a proven track record in delivering vital funds to your club. Authentic Autographs is also #1 in creating the player experience for your club. Training nights, golf days, guest speakers, you name it, they can deliver. Contact David on 0439 743 710 today to discuss how you can give your club the best off-field performance for 2014 and beyond.
What vehicle would you choose for your funeral?
An old 1950s classic, just like me.
I'd love to arrive on the back of a Harley.
Oh, there's only one choice for me, a Mercedes-Benz.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, we know you love vehicles, so we've assembled a wide choice for you and your family. So if you'd like a 1958 Dodge Hearse, our Fat Boy Harley Davidson Hearse, or our unique family funeral coach, just choose one in a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is a must visit for the die-hard Eastern Football League fan. In our news section, check out the latest news, feature articles and video programs, including the Friday preview. Have your say in the EFL poll, tip against your mates in the Vibromania tipping competition, and voice your opinion on the mighty EFL forum. Best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. To go live and local for your footy, head to efl.org.au.
Radio Eastern 98.1. Barry Cotts back here in the studio, and we're back in just a moment for the Pie Shed halftime show from Shark Park, Doncaster. The game between Doncaster and Mulgrave. And relatively pleasant this afternoon. Melbourne's Address, it's currently sitting on 15 degrees, a little bit windy, and expecting a little shower a little bit later on, but nothing too bad. It's time to check some AFL scores. AFL games being played this afternoon, and the game at Etihad Stadium is between Carlton and GWS. At half-time, it was Carlton 10-6-66, leading Gold Coast, I should say, 3-2-20. So Carlton 10-6-66, leading Gold Coast 3-2-20 at half-time. Major goal kickers for the Blues. Jared Waite has 4 so far, 2 each to Bell and Judd. Major possession getters for the Blues. Simpson 17, Murphy 16 and Judd 15. And goal kickers for Gold Coast, Hall, Harborough and Martin all have 1 each. Major possession getters, Swallow 13, Mackenzie 12 and Amara 12. And it's currently almost half-time, and it's 10-6-66 to 4-2-26 Carlton over the Gold Coast. Now, the other game this afternoon is up at Canberra Monica Oval, Skytrack Oval, and at half-time it was a relatively close game. North Melbourne 7-3-45, just leading GWS 6-5-41. Goal kickers for the Kangaroos, Cunningham has 2, as well as Petrie 2, Adams 1. Major possession getters, Cunningham 15, Bastanak 14 and Goldstein 12. And for Greater Western Sydney, Patton has 2, Smith also has 2 and Kelly 1. And major possession getters, Green has 26, Shaw 20 and Trelaw 15. Now it's currently just started the third quarter, and it's North Melbourne 8-3-51, leading GWS 6-5-41. And the other game this afternoon is the twilight game at the MCG, and that's between Hawthorn and Melbourne, getting underway at 20 to 5. Stick around, because coming up to this break, we'll have the Pie Shed halftime show right here at EFL Gameday, Radio Eastern 98.1.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tab. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's east. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
EFL TV is back and better than ever. Head to efl.org.au every Thursday morning to check out the new episode of EFL TV. EFL TV features weekly interviews with players and special guests, and the EFL Media Team always discuss all the big issues in the Eastern Football League. And you can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL Play of the Week. EFL TV, live and local for your footy every Thursday morning at efl.org.au. Go live and local every Saturday afternoon for EFL Gameday.
He might pull this one down, the big man. What a mark that is. Bouncing ball. Empty goal square goal. Has he snuck it home? Yes, he has. Wonderful goal. From 50 metres out, he might put the first one on the ball for the Damian. Straight over the goal umpire's head.
He unloads from 55. It's a shank off the boot, but it's straight and it's a goal. EFL Gameday, 1 through to 6 every Saturday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Yes, it's the Pie Shed halftime show here from Shrents Reserve in Doncaster at the moment. Halftime here at Doncaster, 4-4-28 to Mulgrave, 3-3-21. And, of course, there's some huge matches around in the Eastern Football League. And let's go to Dyson Baker to tell us all about all the around-the-ground scores.
I'm just working over social media feverishly as you do. I tell you what, it's not as easy as it looks when you do it. I'm just writing and typing and tweeting and Facebooking. But alas, we might take through while we're waiting for to get Clint Stanaway from 9 News up on the line. We might go through some of these halftime scores. 8-10-58 Blackburn, South Croydon 5-2-32. Noble Park 7-9-51, 34-point leaders over Lilydale 2-5-17. Bayswater extended their lead that quarter, 9-7-61. They lead Doncaster East 3-5-23. Obviously, we know the radio game, 4-4-28, a 7-point lead to to Doncaster over Mulgrave. Glen Waverley 5-3-33, a 6-point lead after kicking 5 goals to nothing in that term. 4-3-27 Heathmont. Boronia 4-4-28, 11-point leaders over South Belgrave 2-5-17. Wantirna South 3-7-25, 2-goal leaders over Whitehorse 1-7-13. In Division 4, Ferntree Gully 11-11-77, Nunawading 1-2-8, Forest Hill 6-5-41 extended their lead as well to 26 points. Park Orchards 1-9-15 and Warrandyte 12-4-76 lead Surrey Park 3-2-20 as more of these scores start to come in. It's a pretty big day around the Eastern Football League. I've just seen the Vermont score come through. They've got Scoresby. Vermont 10-7-67 lead Scoresby 7-44. Keep you up to date as they come to hand a Wilbur.
Absolutely. So at the moment, Doncaster leading by 7 points. And I think we might have Clint Stanaway from Channel 9 very shortly. And I think we actually got him. So let's go to Clint Stanaway for all the Channel 9 news.
Long time between drinks, Clint. It's been a while, but we're glad to have you, first of all, back in the country and back, second of all, back on the airwaves of 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Yeah, it's good to be back, and I've returned with a fairly decent tan as well for my travels. So, look, it's all good fun and games over there at the World Cup. So, good to be back, though, and plenty of footy doing the rounds this afternoon, of course. Gold Coast, they've been absolutely underwhelming at Etihad Stadium, and the scoreboard illustrates that point too, because the Blues hold a 46-point lead at halftime. Jared Wade, he's been sensational, booted 4 goals to date. Up in Canberra, the Roos, they've got a bit of a fight on their hands against the Giants. Brad Scott, he's blown up a few times in the box, but you get the feeling North's about to kick clear. They hold a 16-point lead there. Now, in other news, AFL boss Gillan McLaughlin, he's hit back today after Essendon. Those court documents claimed the league knew the club was implicated in the supplement scandal. We'll have the latest on that. Shots have been fired at a Coburg business for the second time in 2 days. The clothing store is linked to a hair salon, the target of yesterday's attack. The search for a missing kayaker has ended in tragedy. The body of a 73-year-old found off a Mount Martha beach. In the US, they've carried out its first airstrike against militants in northern Iraq. In sport, we'll have the latest from Tigerland. How about the Tigers? Richmond's unlikely finals dream well and truly alive after that 6th straight win.
Can they do it, Clint?
In golf, I would love to see them finish 9th. So
Yeah. Typical Melbourne supporter.
Yep. And in golf, Jason Day, he's raced up the leaderboard at the USPGA, just 1 shot of pace. Rory McIlroy still heads the field. He will be very hard to topple, but fingers crossed for Jason. And, of course, this afternoon, it's Melbourne up against Hawthorn. The D's by 10 goals, I'm sure.
Oh, bang. There it is. Put your money on it now. Would never be wrong. Thanks very much, Clint.
Thanks, boys.
Look forward to hearing from you soon. Always the dulcet tones is Clint Stanaway, and always the dulcet teeth as well. You'll be able to see them at 6 o'clock on 9 News. Great to have Clint Stanaway back on the airwaves of 98.1 Radio Eastern, Wilbur.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing what's happening around the world. But let's go to Grant Campbell for the Choose Tap match stats for this game so far, with Doncaster by 7 points.
In that second quarter, the clearances were 12 apiece, but Mulgrave have been dominant out of the centre, winning it 5-2. They won every centre clearance in the first quarter. Of course, that's very misleading when you only have one for the entire quarter. And Mulgrave, they changed their game style.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, Grant.
Mulgrave in the first quarter, they had 36 kicks and 35 handballs. In the second quarter, they had 49 kicks and 23 handballs, so deciding to kick the ball more often. The contested possessions has told how tight this game is. It was 32 apiece in the first quarter. Second quarter, 36-35 in favour of Doncaster. Inside 50s in the second quarter were Mulgrave 16-11. And the marks inside 50, they had 3-1 after Doncaster had 3-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, interesting stats there, of course, in that quarter. Mulgrave seemed to dominate the stats so far, but obviously they're not in front of here, of course, thanks to Choose Tap Matt stats there. But any more further scores at halftime, Dice?
Yeah, they're slowly creeping through, Wilbur. As we go through, Templestowe 9-4-58. They keep their lead from quarter time, 1-7-13 Churnside Park. So that's a lead of 35 points if I'm any good at maths, which I think I am.
Yep.
A couple of scores that are yet to be updated, so I think we might be a little bit ahead as the siren to end half-time goes. But we'll see how we go. Sylvan, 11-6-72. A commanding lead over Kilsyth at the moment, 2-4-16. I'll run through what I have for you, Wilbur, just as before we go back to the studio for some sponsor messages. Baldwin 13-5-83, a 75-point lead for them over Knox 1-2-8. Blackburn 8-10-58, 16-point leaders over South Croydon 5-2-32. Noble Park 7-9-51, lead by 34 points over Lilydale 2-5-17. Vermont 10-7-67, lead by 4 goals over Scoresby 7-2-44. Doncaster East are struggling against Bayswater. 9-7-61 the Waters, the Lions 3-5-23. Waverley Blues hit back, kick 7 goals to 2 in that second term. 9-56, they lead by 17 points now, 6-3-39. Heathmont have struggled in that second term, as we said before. 5-3-33 Glen Waverley, Heathmont 4-3-27. Ringwood 8-4-52, 22-point leaders now over Upper Ferntree Gully 4-6-30. Templestowe 9-4-58, as I mentioned before. 35-point leaders over Churnside Park 1-7-13. Boronia, South Belgrave hit back, but Boronia still lead 4-4-28. 11-point leaders over South Belgrave 2-5-17. Wanchana South 3-7-25. Lead by 2 goals over Whitehorse 1-7-13. And in Division 4, Ferntree Gully 11-11-77. Nunawading 1-2-8. Forest Hill 6-5-41. Could they be about to cause another upset against Park Orchards? They lead by 26 points. Park Orchards 1-9-15. Sylvan 11-6-72 lead Kilsyth 2-4-16 and Warrandyte 12-4-76 lead Surrey Park 3-2-20. Just the scores that I haven't got yet: Wilbur, Coldstream and Eastern Lions out at Fair Park. Montrose and East Ringwood, I think they might be a little bit behind us. Norwood Roval heard nothing all day, and the one that a fair few people around here at Shram's Reserve are after is North Ringwood and Mooroolbark. If you've got those scores, please tweet them in or text them in or get them to me somehow, because we'd like to read them out on it.
Absolutely. Well, that is the Pie Shed halftime show. Let's go back to Barry Cotts back in the studio, and we're back for intriguing second half action here between Doncaster and Mulgrave. Doncaster by 7 points.
What song would you like played at your funeral?
Oh, it's got to be A Long Way to the Top. Acca Dacca. Yeah.
Just the Way You Are, Billy Joel. Love that song.
Oh, the Collingwood song. Good old Collingwood forever.
How about Return to Sender?
Music is a must at funeral services. Certain songs say so much about a loved one's personality and the defining moments of their life. The best way to ensure they play the right song at your funeral is to have a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Are you feeling like your man space needs something special? Club rooms need a little something behind the bar? Just want to spoil yourself and show off to your mates? Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. With a range second to none, Authentic Autographs is a one-stop shop for all your memorabilia needs. If there is an empty space on your pool room wall, or you feel your man cave needs something special, contact David on 0439 743 710 or visit the showroom at 11 to 15 Westwood Drive, Deer Park.
Okay, boys, it's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend.
I'm not going to tank, Coach.
No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breeze tag. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor.
Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the palm of your hand. And contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season right from the palm of your hand.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Yes, welcome everyone back here to Shram's Reserve in Doncaster, and at the moment we're about to hit the third quarter action. Doncaster 4-4-28, leading Mulgrave 3-3-21, and we're going to see hopefully a fantastic second half here, and let's see who will break this drought at the moment. Let's go to the best call team in town, the two commentators, Damian Watson and Ben Warren-Smith.
Thank you very much, Wilbur. Just a brilliant, crisp opening there. I loved your work on the Pie Shed halftime show. You thinking about doing it again?
Not sure yet. We'll just leave it up to the two experts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it has been a fantastic, I suppose, not necessarily a fantastic spectacle, but it has been interesting to see how both sides have reacted to the state of the game and the way it's been played. In BWS, 7 points the margin. Doncaster in front. Do you think they can break away in the Premiership quarter?
I'll tell you what, in the first quarter, it looked at some point there that Doncaster were going to break away at that point in the game. But
even early in the second, they kicked 3 in a row.
That's what I meant early in that second term. But to Mulgrave's credit, they got themselves right back into the game here, and certainly anyone's game at this point.
It certainly is, and we'll keep you updated right throughout the day with around-the-ground scores across the Eastern Football League. But for now, we're into the second half from Shram's Reserve, and it's McKenzie who won the knockdown, taken by Anarchis. That was good roving as he carries it to centre wing, kicks towards the half-forward flank. Caught behind there is Kinnear. He's eventually bumped off the football, but Duto went in hard with his head over the football. Eventually soccers it out. Mulgrave have the numbers at the back of the pack. Good hand pass from Young just to compose the Lions down. The kick across goal, almost a cardinal sin as Jamar dropped the mark, but they have the numbers as Jamar regains it, and eventually they link up well deep inside their defensive zone. Dribble kick in the direction of Jamar. Fiora turns it over, does it well, breaks through a couple of tackles, eventually gives it back to his teammate in Pearson, who's claimed and dragged across the boundary line, and will have a throw in 45 metres around from the Doncaster goal. They're kicking to the northern end in this third term. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Radio Eastern 98.1 FM or streaming live on EFL.org.au as Kinnear won the knockdown. And a free kick's been picked out of the stoppage. It's going the way of Doncaster for a high tackle.
Knackers.
Was certainly there. It certainly was there, and the recipient looks as if it's Chris Anarkis. So Anarkis can wheel around onto that trusty right foot. He certainly wanted to move the play on, but the ball will go into a congested forward line if he goes in very quickly, so he has to assess the options and orchestrate an attack. Sends a long ball to the top of the square. It's intimidating. Eventually Shimmelbush at the back, couldn't quite claim it. They had the numbers though. Brilliant evasion by Peduto. Sends it back to his teammate in Collinari. Spearing ball was sensational, and he's found the target on the lead with the outstretched arms. It was fantastic ball movement, and we'll have a shot on goal, Steve Muller, and he can shoot for his third major of the afternoon.
And you can see the way Doncaster really were very patient going inside their forward 50, and obviously as a result it's a mark to Steve Muller with a chance to push this margin out to 13.
So Muller, who certainly has been one of the key focal points in Doncaster's forward line in this match, from 45 metres, almost directly in front, worked brilliantly off the boot, and Doncaster have their fifth major for the afternoon. They've opened up a buffer once again. They're 5-4-34, leading Mulgrave 3-3-21. We've gone 2 minutes in the third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Steve Muller's kicked 2 goals in a minute. He kicked the last one right on the half-time siren, and he just put one through there. Anyone around the grounds, the winner of the $150 meat tray here at Tramp Reserve, a red ticket, E26.
And you can see
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
And you see straight away Doncaster's gone out of this quarter and really gone aggressive and really locked down Mulgrave's defensive line, and they've done it so far to perfection.
2.5 minutes gone. 13 points is the margin. Mackenzie slipped over at the crucial stage in the middle. No one won the clear knockout, so the umpire will come back in and bounce it. Some more. So some interesting results as we heard Dyson go through them at half-time. That's for sure. The umpire calls for the ball to come back. I think this could be a free kick to Mulgrave, to Dean Siakoulis in the guts. It is. He's got Fowler short if he wants to use him. Also got Lester instead. He'll go towards the Booth or Gladman direction. Gladman found some space, so the big man takes it across the half-forward line. Winds around now on the right boot, kicks it up towards the Booth direction. Well done there by McGarnis, who eventually worked himself to the front spot, knocked through by Pearson for a rush behind. So Bendigo Bank scoreboard sees Mulgrave at 3-4-22. They're trailing by 2 straight kicks. Doncaster 5-4-34 as short passes on. Anarkis will receive 25 for a non-necessary nudge from Tim Knowles, who decides to give a little bit of back chat, and certainly not well received by the umpire here, and he's reaching for the pocket, so expect a yellow card to come out here for Tim Knowles. And, well, the Doncaster faithful, hear the murmurs in the background.
Would that be for the act or more for whatever was said down in the umpire?
100% it was the 100% it was for what was said.
Yeah.
So didn't appreciate the 25-metre penalty.
Good umpiring, very authoritative umpiring. We'd like to see that.
No, that's right.
Look at Anarkis just giving a bit of back chat.
Well, Anarkis is just telling him that this ain't 25 metres, mate. So we need to go back a few strides, I think, which they're doing so now. So Chris Anarkis. So the play just slows down a little bit here at Shram's Reserve. Johnson back to Anarkis, went one way, the stop propped, put himself under a bit of pressure there. It was a good smother by Stokey. Anarkis eventually giving away the free kick to Fowler in the middle of the ground for an in the back. Now Fowler wants to switch the play out wide towards the Jamo direction. He's got Lester there for support. Galache. Fresh air shot. Nearly kicked Lester in the head, and the umpire said play on as Lester switches it in towards the middle. Stokey takes the mark. Players are further out wide if they want to use them, but he might elect to go down the middle. I thought he was going to... He went for the switch in the end, and it was a sloppy kick off the boot with Adrian Galache taking the gift. In the middle of the ground now. Collinari takes it. So waiting for some options up forward. So they'll go to the main targets where Cheesy comes out. It was nicely fisted away from Cruz that time at the fall of the ball. Oh, Lester copped one extremely high from Kinnear.
That was a bear hug.
If ever I've seen one, and he's certainly a big bear. He's Ben Kinnear, and Lester gives a little handball out wide, and now the Lions can rebound from halfback.
Indeed they do on the halfback flank. They've got a couple of linking options through hand pass. Butler, eventually they give it back with the 1-2 to Lester. He's hard up against the boundary line in a confined space Opts to go back into the defensive 50 and finds Goldsmith. The switch across the face of the defensive goal is risky because Muller's chasing after it. He retrieves it from the ground, tackled by his opponent. It's almost a bit of a wrestle as they move into the pocket. That was brilliantly done by Willsmore, and we'll have a bounce deep inside Doncaster, in fact Mulgrave's forward 50. In fact, it is in the Doncaster forward 50 as Kinnear races to the ruck contest.
Yeah, we've been doing the ruck work up forward. He's actually a pretty handy tap ruckman. He tends to get first hands on the footy in the ruck contest a lot.
And we'll have yet another throw in, 30 metres around from the Sharks' goal.
Just quickly run through some Division 4 half-time scores.
Very important.
Nothing through from Fair Park Reserve, so if you're out there, send something through, please.
Yep.
Ferntree Gully, 11-11-77 on top of Nunawading, who have kicked 1 goal, 2-8.
Yep.
Forest Hill, 6-5-41, lead Park Orchards by 26, 1-9-15. Sylvan, 11-6-72, all over Kilsyth at Pinks Reserve, 2-4-16. And Warrandyte, 12-4-76, all over Surrey Park, 3-2-20.
Lanarkis might just kick a goal here for Doncaster. He's all class. He's made it very hard, but he sloppily kicks it and has taken a mark on the goal line. As Semertzidis now will get the reprieve for the Lions. He might receive it back here and backwards to go forwards. Here's Young. Will swing around on the left boot. Drives the ball up towards the wing position over the top of Roper's head. Here's Ramboldi. He's got a little bit of strapping back towards McGarnis, who's been relatively quiet in the possession stakes, but he certainly he holds his own as we have a look at some more around the ground scores.
Yep, Division 3, Glen Waverley Hawks, 5-3-33. They lead Heathmont by 6 points, 4-3-27 at half-time.
Go Dogs.
Upper Ferntree Gully, they trail Ringwood by 22, 8-4-52 to 4-6-30. Templestowe at the Wharf, 9-4-58. They lead Churnside Park by 45, 1-7-13. Low-scoring affair at Baronia, the Hawks, 4-4-28. They lead South Belgrave 2-5-17. Mitcham up by 34 at quarter-time, no half-time score from there. And at One Turner South at 3-7-25. They lead Whitehorse by 12 points, 1-7-13 at half-time.
Division 2.
Straight across to Division 2. Bayswater, they still lead Doncaster East 9-7-61 to 3-5-23. The Waverley Blues fought back against East Burwood. They now lead 9-2-56 to 6-3-39. North Ringwood at home 4-6-30. They led Mooroolbark 1-2-8. And, of course, the radio game, Doncaster were up by 7 at half-time.
Well, the ball's about 20 metres out from the Doncaster goal line. The Big Cheese tried to barge his way through 2 tackles. Stokey will be the recipient of a holding the ball decision paid in the middle of the ground. Here's Gladman, who takes it now for the Lions. He shouldn't have done a U-turn. Instead, he drives the ball up towards the half-forward line where David Wazer leads out right on his hammer and knocked beautifully over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Well, the cheese was getting tackled then. He was like the cheese in the sandwich. That was a really bad joke.
But you can see that Mulgrave was trying to use that play to get into their forward line, but obviously, unfortunately, that play just turned around and instead of could have just kept leading.
Ben Waterworth loving Will Taylor's work today.
Yes.
The ball's been thrown back in across the half-forward line. Semertzidis wraps up Carroll in a tackle and we'll have a bounce. Seymour.
Division 1 time, Baldwin having it all their own way against Knox, 14-5-89 to 1-2-8. Blackburn, 8-10-58, lead South Croydon, 5-2-32. The Bulls, 7-9-51, they lead Lillardale, 2-5-17 at the LSO. Montrose are up by 27 at quarter time over East Ringwood, no half-time score there. Norwood, 7-8-50, they lead Oval by 3 goals, 5-2-32. And out at the Nest, Vermont, 10-7-67, they lead Scoresby 7-2-44.
They're still in it.
Only a 23-point margin to the Eagles at half-time.
So the kick goes up towards the wing position now. Galache, who went after it. He really wanted the football here. He's silky smooth skills there of Galache. Handball over the top. He might get the football back here. He's put his teammate in James C. Cavellis under a fair old bit of pressure. Right in front of the Mulgrave interchange bench here.
Looks like Anarchis is finally letting loose through the midfield in this third quarter. The first half he was of course stuck at full forward in the forward pocket. A dangerous play if he gets off the chain.
2-goal margin to the home side as the big man McKenzie got it away to Carroll. Now it's Malloy in the middle of the ground. He chips it over the top. It was a good looking kick too because Parker had a little bit of space. Wants to go further out wide where Benny McGarnis called for it. Short passes on. It was a neat one too. Coming out and taking it, Aaron Fiora. Swings around on the left boot now. Kick up towards the half-forward line, in towards the glue pot in the middle of the ground, and Narcos lays a pretty good tackle there on Cheeseman. The ball spills out. Umpire said play on. Seeker Vallis is in there, couldn't release the pill, and we'll have a free kick in the middle of the ground. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50s, 4-1 in favour of Doncaster this quarter.
Stokey on the right boot, kicks it out towards Gladman at the back of the pack. Jamo has a little bit of space, and he's got the dash too, one way then the other. He'll square it up towards centre half forward. It was a neat old looking kick too, but there was holding on after the ball was released, so it could be a downfield free kick here.
Free kick,
it is.
Free kick 7-1 in favour of Mulgrave.
Free kick to Fowler.
They've got no one inside forward 50.
55 metres out. Well, Booth's out of the goal square. But Fowler,
you have to go all the way here.
I think he can kick this far, Fowler.
No.
Instead, he goes for a bit of a helicopter punt kick out towards the Booth direction. It was not a terrible great option in the end, as Magana sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Didn't actually gain distance with that kick. It was a very poor option to go across the ground.
Yeah, but you could see, though, that Mulgrave had nowhere to go because it was all clogged up by Doncaster, clogging up that forward 50, which they've done so well so far in this game, and which Mulgrave had to resolve.
Josh Lumachisi and Tommy Gladman have both just been yellow carded after a little bit of fracas on the opposite side of the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks as if they've stopped the play here as the players move on and off the interchange bench amidst the scuffle.
Who did you say that was? Gladman
and Josh Lumachisi.
Okay, I thought I saw Colinari go off there as well.
No, the Cheese was the first one.
Yeah. A couple of Mulgrave players a little worse for wear as well. Fredericks coming off the ground after that scuffle.
Yeah, he wore one from Pearson.
Well, the umpire throws it back in. Anarka's got the handball away to Schimmelbusch, who got a little look-away handball back to Anarka's. Little worm-burning kick goes out wide. It worked out well for Fitzpatrick, who just couldn't quite hold the football. Good pressure there from Butler to release Sia Koulis across the half-forward line. Bouncing football west one way, then the other. Silky skills. He's swing around now. He's got no one to go to, though. He kicks it across the face up towards centre half forward. Well, the option was Fowler, but Fiora took the strong mark. He put himself under a lot of pressure. Handball away. Hill now in the middle of the ground, gets it away to Johnson, slams it on his left boot, kicks it out wide towards the run of Anarkas. It's bounced in front there of Stokey. Good play there by Hill to get the handball away back to Johnson. He's had a super game so far, inside forward 50 towards the Galache direction. Jamo led the race in that one. Handball back to Willsmore. That was okay. And through the arms of Gilling, he switches the play out wide there. And now the mark has been taken by Young, who swings on that trusty left foot kick up towards the half back line. They've still got the numbers there. Currell picks it up and links okay. Here go the Lions now. Stokey one way then the other. He'll go back to West on the right boot. Kicks it up towards Fowler in the middle of the ground, who's had a bit of space in the last 5 minutes or so. He'll thump it forward towards the Booth direction. He's got to beat two players. Was there holding? The umpire said no. Well done by Fiora just to hold his feet and boot the ball up towards the middle of the ground where Hill has a lot of space. It sits up for him now. Which way is this kick going to go? Drives it up towards the half forward line. All class Muller. He's been the target all afternoon, and he puts out the one juke and just ripped it in, and he'll have a shot on goal from outside. Well, not outside now, from about 25 metres out, directly in front as we cross down boundary side, thanks to life care to Alice Mulvogue.
Yeah, just confirming after that little brawl that happened, 2 yellow cards were handed out, one to Todd Gladman, number 36 of Mulgrave, and one to number 4 of Doncaster, Josh Lumachisi.
Thank you very much to Alice. So, Steve Muller. Virtually, you'd call this from point-blank range.
Oh, yeah.
Kicked 3 goals this afternoon. Can he make it 4? He does make it 4. Straight over the goal umpire's head it goes. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Doncaster move along nicely at the 15-minute mark to 6 goals for 40, leading Mulgrave 3-4-22.
Yeah, you can see, though, that Steve Muller's really starting to make an impact in this game, causing Mulgrave problems because obviously with Lucchese out, Jameer's now gone to Galache and obviously down at the Mulgrave forward half for all, and McGarvin's double teaming Adam Booth.
So Muller's 4th major gives Doncaster extra breathing space. They lead by 3 goals, and with Lumachisi off the ground following that indiscretion, Muller's role is going to be ever so magnified now as that focal point.
Look, it certainly will, and he's done a fantastic job so far. The ground attendant out here is still looking for the holder of red ticket E26 for the $150 meat raffle. If you're in your car and you're listening and you've got that ticket, come and claim your prize.
Well done, Seymour. McKenzie wins the knockout from the ruck contest. But picking it up is West from the stoppage at ground level. Kicks it towards centre wing. Into the path there of Hesketh. Couldn't quite take it. The Lions move it towards half forward. Leicester couldn't quite take the mark in the contest. It was well spoilt by Marganis, and he forces it over the boundary line 60 metres around from the Mulgrave goal. They've got an open forward line, although Doncaster dropping a couple of numbers back in the defensive zone As the ball is set in motion once again from the throw-in. Niver Ruckman won the contest. West at the fore of the ball. He's been impressive. A little live wire in this third term. And he forces yet another ball up. He is slippery like an eel. Certainly in the clinches. As the ball up once again is won by Booth. Jamo did well in the clinches. And a free kick is being picked out. It's going the way of Ben Johnson for Doncaster, holding the ball. So Jamo took on one too many tacklers there. Johnson chips the pass to centre wing. Finds Anarchis. Amongst the interchange gates where there was plenty of drama only minutes ago. Anarchis wheels on the right foot, kicks to a 2-on-1 contest at the fore of the ball. Brilliantly read by Hill, hacks it inside 50. Chance here for the Sharks if they can get the numbers back in their forward line, but Mulgrave, well, their defensive line prevails and the mark has been taken on the half-back flank by Goldsmith. He looks inboard, still flirting with danger here. Hand pass comes back to Goldsmith, has a bit more time and space to weigh up an option. Kick towards centre wing, brilliantly marked by Fowler against two. Sends a high ball towards the half-forward line, but brilliant body positioning there by Luke Parker. He's been magnificent all afternoon, and he copped one for his quarter after he kicked it, and it'll be a downfield free to the Sharks.
And you can see that Wester was really frustrated with that, Razor, and obviously giving away a free kick to Luke Parker.
So Marganis will take the resulting downfield free kick, chips the pass into the corridor, right in the middle of the ground. The mark has been taken by Galache. In fact, it's going the way there of Fitzpatrick. Looks into the centre circle. Schimmelbusch has been sweeping across that centre line all afternoon. Chips it to Johnson. They've gone with a more conservative approach to their forward line here, Doncaster, chipping it around as Johnson sends it towards half-forward. Big fly came from Kinnear. Anarchis did well, read the play, got the hand pass over to Galache, but his kick went across the face, and in fact, Mulgrave can clear it from their defensive zone as the mark is taken by Roper at half-back.
And Roper swings it out wide, looking for Hesketh. Over the top of his head it goes. Ramboldi sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. As I've got a score come in from Fair Park and in a very tight tussle. It was just only moments ago 49-47 Coldstream's way, but now it's a 4-point lead to the Lions in the third term. So
great game.
Good stuff there. Soupy, thanks to Choose Tab.
Clearances 7-3 in favour of Doncaster.
Well, there's a clearance now for the Mulgrave Football Club as Sia Coulis drives the ball. It's a bouncing football. Maganis would like to see that over the boundary line and out of bounds. Disguised it well for the umpire. Cheeseman thinking that he just might have won a free kick there.
Tried to con the umpire.
I thought so. Wishful thinking.
Right in front of us here in the broadcast position. Great facility out here at the Doncaster Football Club. Nice ground too. So the umpire throws it in, a quick snap around the body. That would have been all right
West.
too. And David West, well, he has been lively in that first half, and he just bobbed up at the right time at the stoppage there to kick a very important goal for the Mulgrave Football Club. Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 19-minute mark of this third term, and it's been reduced back to a 2-goal game.
Yeah, they needed that one, Mulgrave, and it pretty much almost came from nothing at the end.
Yes.
But West, with presence of mind, really just knew where the goals were and kicked it straight through, and that's what Mulgrave needed. And hopefully that's the start the Lions needed.
Well, it could reinvigorate the side, that's for sure, in this premiership quarter. Doncaster 6-4, Mulgrave 4-4 as you go local for your footy. Back in the centre, McKenzie won the knockout for Doncaster. Jamo roving well, but McKenzie laying the tackle and causes the free kick, so he'll win it from the centre of the ground. Brilliant tackle after he roved his own ball. So McKenzie, who's been a big star this year, named in the best on 10 occasions in season 2014. Kicks it out wide to Carroll from centre wing. Looks inside 50. Kinnear at the fall of the ball. Couldn't quite take it. Eventually he regains it. Gets the hand pass to his teammate in Grocott. Breaks away. A snapper goal is across the face. And only a minor score. In fact, the goal umpire's moving around. It's a goal. So Doncaster with the quick reply. 7-4-46 the Sharks to Mulgrave 4-4-28, and once again, similarly to the last conversion, that goal came out of nowhere.
Jez Grocott, I mentioned in the second quarter that he just needed to get his hands on the footy, and one of the first times we could actually remember calling his name, and an opportunistic goal, and they're back to that 3-goal margin. Soupy's stats are very, very interesting. The Sharks have reversed the trend. Mulgrave all over Doncaster in the clearance stat in the first half of the game, but Doncaster slowly gaining ascendancy around the stoppage, and Damo, that's an important area of any game of football. You get on top of the stoppage, it more or less leads to inside 50s, but more or less leads to shots on goal.
Well, here they go again, because Carroll won it straight out and kicked it inside forward 50. It was a long kick, and it was nearly taken the mark there by Jarvis, but the umpires paid a free kick to Ben Kinnear, who went down pretty solidly there, I think.
I think he's paid the mark. He's paid the mark.
Yeah, it was a mark.
Okay, well, you heard it from Will Taylor, our special comments man for this afternoon. So Big Humphrey, one of the favourite sons of the Doncaster Football Club in their history.
Where does Humphrey come from?
He's a very silent man.
Oh, I see.
Like Humphrey VB.
So
The
Jarve
same build too.
comes in now from about 45 metres out. Distance won't be a problem. He keeps it
Sausage.
low and he keeps it straight. Look at him get around the big fella too.
Yes.
Fantastic bit of play there. And after Mulgrave looked like they might just be getting themselves back into this game, the margins back out to 4 goals on the Bendigo Bank
In the
scoreboard.
blink of an eye, DWS, Jeremy Grocott, the opportunistic one. Then the clearance from Mackenzie to Carroll, straight to Jarvis, who held on to a dubious mark, but was good enough to go back and slot it straight through the middle. A definite indication now. I think Doncaster have comfortably had the run of this third quarter, the premiership quarter, and all credit to Mulgrave. They're not going to go away. Don't expect Doncaster to kick away to a 7 or 8 goal lead by 3/4 time. There's no chance of that happening.
But the alarm bells are ringing for the Lions. They trail now by 4 goals, which is quite significant in the context of this game. In the middle of the ground, Johnson gives the hand pass to Fiora from the stoppage, breaks away at centre wing, chips the pass towards half forward. Mark taken by Anarchis, who's been everywhere in this game. He claims the mark about 70 metres out from goal. Can wheel around. He's going to opt for the short option here. Eventually it's taken by his teammate in Johnson. Swings round onto the left foot. A worm-burning pass towards Kinnear. Wasn't quite taken effectively. And Gilling can clear for the Lions towards the half-back flank. A fumble from West. The umpire's blown the whistle. And a legging free kick. It's going the way of the Lions, and they can clear from their defensive half. Again, opting to go across the ground with the switch. And they can do it effectively on this occasion because they got 2 players running. Roper on centre wing takes the mark. He's got a paddock to run into. Can wheel around Muller. Eventually looks into the middle of the ground, into the corridor, and Arcus. Well, it was chopping at the arms, according to the umpire, as he laid the spoil. So Mulgrave have a scoring opportunity here. The ball hoisted into the pocket. At the back, no mark paid. Couldn't quite take it on the third grab. That was Fowler. And eventually the Doncaster Brigade run back in numbers and force it over the boundary line for a throw-in deep inside the 4 pocket for the Lions. They need a goal.
Let's go around the grounds with Dyson Baker.
Yeah, Division 4, Wilbur, Ferntree Gully 11-11, 77, lead by 69 points. Nunawading 1-2-8, Forest Hill 6-5, 41, 26-point leaders over Park Orchards 1-9, 15, Sylvan 11-6, 72.
I think there might be a shot on goal here. What a fantastic kick by David Wazer, and Mulgrave, just what the doctor ordered. Sorry to cut you off there, Dyson, but it was an important bit of play in the Mulgrave forward line. Margin back down to 3 goals.
A bigger margin out at Kilsyth, out at Pink's Reserve, 2-4-16, Kilsyth, Sylvan 11-6, 72, Warrandyte 12-4, 76, Surrey Park 3-2, 20, Division 3, Wanturna South 3-7, 25, 12-point leaders over Whitehorse, Baronia lead by 11, Templestowe lead by 45, Ringwood lead by 22, and a half-time score, Heathmont lead by 3 goals at 3/4 time.
Over Glen Waverley?
Correct.
Oh. Well, that's a shame for the Hawks' perspective, but they certainly got a chance in that match as we're back at Shram's Reserve. Mackenzie won the knockout from the stoppage and again lays his own tackle. He's certainly been working overtime, and that's one of the attributes behind his good form this season. So we have the ball up in the centre of the ground.
And just going back to that last play, that goal for Mulgrave, that's pretty much what they need to do. Really got to scrap it out and get the easy clearances that they need. Otherwise, it's going to be a dogfight, and that's what Doncaster's liking at the moment.
Well, they have gained the clearance here, the Lions. Hesketh will be the recipient from a high tackle in the stoppage. Gets the hand pass to his teammate in the lively Siakoulis. Sends a probing kick into the pocket, but a brilliant reading of the play from Zach Carroll. He's taken the overhead mark deep inside his defensive zone and again repels another Mulgrave attack. He looks and finds Mackenzie deep in the full-back position.
So Mackenzie goes short, back to Carroll. And Carroll takes off now, reaches the defensive arc in the end. Kicks it up towards the Kinnear position, who gave away a bit of a free kick there, which the umpire saw. Will be bringing it back now?
Indeed.
Clearly looked like that was certainly advantage, but nonetheless, free kick is with Mulgrave. They currently trail this game by 3 straight kicks as the ball goes up towards the half-forward line. It was a terrible pass, and over the boundary line it goes.
Division 2, gentlemen. Bayswater 9-7-61, 38-point leaders over Donny East 3-5-23. Waverley Blues 9-2-56, lead by 3 goals over East Burwood 6-3-39. North Ringwood 4-6-30, keeping Moorabak to just 1-2-8 at half-time, 22-point leaders. And in Division 1, 81 points, Bourne over Knox. 16 points, Blackburn over South Croydon. Noble Park lead by 34 over Lilydale. Montrose lead by a straight 10 goals over East Ringwood. Norwood lead by 3 goals over Roval. And Vermont, as we heard before, 23 points up over Scoresby.
Well, Anarchis kicked the ball into towards the middle of the ground. It's picked up there by Stoke. He got the handball received. West screams for it across half-forward line, but they go out wider towards Booth, who's been very quiet this afternoon. One of the few marks he's taken. Certainly not within range too, the big full forward. And kicks it towards the Fowler direction. It was a spearing pass, and picked up there by Siakoulis. Bangs it on his boot, but he pushed it to the right-hand side. So through for a minor score. Margin back to 17 points now on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Doncaster have the lead. We've gone 26 minutes now in this third term. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the world on EFL.org.au. As a risky kick from Fiora might just pay off here, because Ramboldi got opened up in towards the middle of the ground, up towards the half-forward line, where Galache had to beat Willsmore for it. He's nearly stripped it. They stripped each other of the football in the end. Comes down there to Jarvis, whose handball went into no man's land. It was a little bit risky, and now the Lions will have a chance to get a reprieve here through Fredericks. Chips the ball over the top. It was an absolute shocker, wasn't it? So over it goes.
On the full.
Dudu. People saying it might have been. No, it certainly wasn't touched.
He wasn't behind the mark at all.
So
it's coming back.
He was 20 metres further back, though, so I dare say that he kicked over it. So Peduto, true centre wing position here. Right at the interchange gates. You could sort of sense that he wanted to go on with it, didn't you? And as he kicked it inside forward 50 now, the ball sits up, but to no avail. And good mark's been taken by Booth across the half-back line. Handball off now. This is Cruz on the right boot, kicks it out towards the Jamo direction. The ball's got to sit up nicely for him. He's got Anarchis right on his hammer. Clever enough to get a little kick around the corner to Leicester, who wasn't looking forward in the end. All he wanted to do was go backwards, so that's what they do. Jamo in towards the middle of the ground. Mark's been taken by Stokey. Got a quick handball off. Stokey's been good today. The kick up towards the Fowler direction. Well done there by Rumboldi. Got a double fister on it, but Willsball might be the first one to meet the football out on the wing position. Right on his hammer is Colinari, who forced him to do it in and under handball. But a fantastic smother by Ramboldi coming across and intercepting that Fitzpatrick, that kick inside forward 50 by Fredericks, I should say, and over the boundary line goes. Pye throws it in. McKenzie just stood flat-footed in the end. We still give him the knockout, though, as Mulgrave link up here. I think this could be West again on the right boot. Which way is this kick going to go? Coming back, and push through for one behind. So not too much excitement around that kick either, as that went set sailing towards goal, as Mulgrave still stay in this game too, as Carroll clears it for Doncaster, Damo.
28.5 minutes gone in this third term. Only 16 points the margin in favour of the Sharks, as they have possession through McKenzie on centre wing. Just get the sense a goal right on the brink of three-quarter time for the Sharks would absolutely kill the morale of Mulgrave this afternoon. That was a risky kick, but taken in the one mid by Zach Carroll.
Playing well.
Between half-back and centre wing. He has lifted after quarter time. Chip pass wasn't so effective, however. McKenzie regains it on the half volley. At ground level, gives it to Ben Johnson. He's in a confined space, but he loves that situation. Peduto back to Johnson onto the left foot. Brilliant chip pass into the path of Lubachisi, who's back on the ground after his indiscretion. Hard up against the line. A long left ball towards
definitely holding on Kinnear.
And a free kick is going to be paid, as BWS called it. Ben Kinnear held on to behind the play, and he can have a very crucial shot on goal in the context of this game from 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Just quickly, I want to touch on Dean Siakoulis, who's completely gone out of the game in the third quarter. He did it at Muralbach a few weeks ago. He did not play a full-quarter performance. Correct. He's their key. I've been watching him the last 10 minutes. There's no one tagging him. He's just not getting anywhere near the footy. He plays 4 quarters. Mulgrave get back into the game.
In the meantime, Ben Kinnear, former Collingwood player, of course, in the early 2000s, has a shot on goal, but it's drifted off to the right on the three-quarter time siren. So a bad miss, an opportunity not capitalised for the Sharks. It's only a minor score. They move on to 8-5-53 to Mulgrave 5-6-36. A 17-point window for them to work in this final term. We've got a grandstand finish on our hands, boys, at Shrams Reserve.
We certainly do, Damo. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live on EFL.org.au. And enjoying your afternoon as you go local for your football. We've got all the important three-quarter time scores right here after the break, after we've gone back to big, bad Barry Cotts in the studio.
Are you feeling like your man space needs something special? Club rooms need a little something behind the bar? Just want to spoil yourself and show off to your mates? Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. With a range second to none, Authentic Autographs is a one-stop shop for all your memorabilia needs. If there is an empty space on your pool room wall or you feel your man cave needs something special, contact David on 0439 743 710 or visit the showroom at 11 to 15 Westwood Drive, Deer Park.
How would you like your coffin to look?
I think maybe my wedding photo would look good.
Like HMAS Melbourne. I spent the best years of my life on that ship.
Oh, a picture of me and the kids from when I was younger and they were babies.
Lots of pretty flowers.
Well, at Tobin Brothers Funerals, anything is possible, including a custom-designed and decorated coffin to celebrate your life. To find out more, visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
For all things EFL, The Huddle.
Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers. One of the punishments is you've got to get a spray tan the Friday night before a game.
Oh, nice.
Wash all the jumpers. And of course, he is Glenn Archer, and welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, guys. How you going?
If it was up to Dino, he's winning the league B&F, our B&F.
How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1 quarter.
6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
3 after 4, Radio Eastern EFL Game Day. Barry Cont's back here in the studio and will return for the last quarter from Doncaster at the Doncaster Mulgrave game in just a moment. And check some AFL scores now. And the game up at Canberra this afternoon, North Melbourne's GWS's home game. And it's a 10-minute mark at the last quarter, and North Melbourne well in front. North Melbourne 17-8, 110, lead GWS 6-7-43. Goal kickers for North Melbourne. Drew Petrie has 5 so far, 3 to Cunnington and 2 to Brown. Best possession getters for North, Bastanak 25, Cunnington 24, and also Boomer Harvey 24. For Greater Western Sydney, Patton has 2 goals, as well as Smith 2, Kelly 1. And disposals, Green 32, Shaw 28, and Law 22. So it looks like North Melbourne will win that game up there in Canberra. The other game this afternoon at Etihad Stadium is between Carlton and Gold Coast, and I must say that Carlton are well on their game this afternoon. At the 23-minute mark of the third quarter, it's Carlton 12-7-79, well leading Gold Coast 5-6-36. Goal kickers for the Blues, Bell and Jared Waite have 4 each. Chris Judd has 2. Major possession getters, Bryce Gibbs 23, Judd 21 and Simpson 21. And goal kickers for Gold Coast, Hall, Harbrow and Martin have 1 each. O'Mara has 19 disposals, Bennell 18 and Lynch 17. And the twilight game getting underway at 20 to 5 this afternoon at the MCG between Hawthorn and Melbourne. This is EFL Game Day 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tax. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week. And I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the palm of your hand. And contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season right from the palm of your hand. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
It's the only way to do it is going local for your football on a Saturday afternoon. The Eastern Football League's match of the day is out at Doncaster and Mulgrave today. It's Rams Reserve and it's the home side, Doncaster, leading this one by 17 points. It's three-quarter time, and to take us through all the important Choose Tap stats, here's Grant Soupy Campbell.
After not winning the clearances in the first half, Doncaster got on top, winning it 11-8, including 4-3 out of the centre. They had 14 inside 50s to 11. 3 marks inside 50-0. And the intercept marks has been a highlight of the game. They had 4-2 in that quarter and overall 14-5. So Mulgrave, particularly going inside 50, guilty of turning the ball over a bit too often.
Boundary Alice.
Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Life Care with Alice Mulvogue.
Yeah, just listening in at the Doncaster huddle at three-quarter time, the coach Andrew Tranquilli spoke about the physicality and aggressiveness that the team needs to bring to the last quarter, which is the same message he gave at quarter time. He also spoke about not giving away this lead they have taking into the final term like they have in previous games this season, and that they need to win this term to prove that they are ready for the finals. And he also spoke about not letting the team be sucked into the footy, so keeping a spread across the field the entire quarter.
Great stuff there, Alice Mulvogue, boundary side, thanks to Life Care, leading the way down there for the girls, doing a great job in what we can hopefully see out Damo to be a pretty nail-biting finish.
Well, hopefully, certainly if Mulgrave get their act together and perhaps continue to stifle Doncaster's free-flowing ball movement, they're a chance, the Lions. They're only 17 points in arrears. It's certainly not beyond them.
No, absolutely. And look, Mulgrave just need to stop the Doncaster running game, which they did for most of that third quarter, and really got to take opportunities. And obviously, and because literally this is almost the season-defining game for the Mulgrave Football Club.
Well, speaking of season-defining, it's right now. Start of the final term from Shram's Reserve. Doncaster up by 17 points over Mulgrave as Siakoulis is tackled in the stoppage. McKenzie feeds the handball out to Anarchis, who hacks it towards centre-half forward, and the mark is taken on the chest by Carroll. So a brilliant clearance to start the final term from the Sharks, and Carroll certainly within range, 55 metres out, only a slight angle to contend with. So Zach Carroll has been pivotal this afternoon for Doncaster. He's captured a four-quarter performance if he continues on in this final term. Certainly a goal will highlight that from 55 metres out. Set sail towards goal. It's home. The perfect start to the final term. And the Sharks move on to 9-5-59. They lead Mulgrave 5-6-36 by 23 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've gone 50 seconds in this final term.
Dream start for the Sharks. It was pretty similar to a couple of goals they kicked in the third quarter. Just some brilliant clearance work, the quick kick. And Zach Carroll's just been a ball magnet all afternoon. And it wasn't a measured pass by any stretch of the imagination. It was just a hack forward that landed on his chest, and you don't see too many better finishes than that, Damo.
Indeed, and it certainly is a big goal in the context of this game.
Ball back in the middle, McKenzie straight into Johnson's throat, who got a little handball away. Knowles was in there, copped one high for his troubles, and he'll receive the free kick. Being yellow carded earlier in this game, we'll be looking for him to step up nicely in this last term if Mulgrave are going to have anything to do with winning this football game. As the kick goes through, Rumbold his legs eventually. In the end, it's picked up across the half-back line, handball towards Anarchis, and we'll put him under a lot of pressure. Leicester was there, got a little foot on it. In came David West, swings around on the right boot. He's got cute skills. I like the look of this guy. Carroll takes the mark in the number 70 Guernsey. On the right boot now, kicks the ball inside forward 50. It drifts across with the breeze, and going back is McKenzie to take a pretty strong mark in the end. The big man in through the middle of the ground. He goes to McGarnis, who would love to get into this game a little bit more. Little chip kick over the top to his mate Schimmelbusch, who dropped what he should have taken, but was clever enough to get boot to ball anyway. Inside forward 50, Lou Machisi. He's had that battle with Cruz all day, which Cruz has probably won, you would say, definitely. Swooped upon now by Gilling, switches the play. That was okay. Young outstretches and takes the mark. Short little kick he's on. He had a fair bit of time there, but West, who's just been everywhere, takes it across the half-back line. Has a little bit of a dash and switches the play out towards the Jamo direction. Still in the defensive arc now for the Lions. He wants to go direct, and he kicks it up towards the wing position where a 2-on-2 situation unfolded. Picked up there by Schimmelbusch. Got it away to Malloy, who banged it on his boot into the middle of the ground where Chris Anarchis, why would you leave him by himself, stands alone. Has plenty of time. Kicks the ball inside forward 50 to the Lumachese direction. Coming in there was Willsmore. That was good play by Willsmore. He kept his eye on the prize the whole time and had a lovely clearing kick out towards the Fowler direction, who takes the mark and spots up his teammate Siakoulis in the middle of the park. Needs to take off now. They need to take some risks. That's exactly what they're doing as Siakoulis drives the ball inside forward 50. There might have been holding on there on Wazer, but Cheeseman's there at the back of the pack. Little look away handball. Wasn't too crash hot. Parker was there for Doncaster. Got down low, put his body on the line. He had some support as well. The umpire will come in and bounce it. And we'll have a cross down boundary side thanks to Life Care to Claire Schnackenberg.
We've got a few dark clouds coming over, so
Yes.
there's probably no sunshine left for today. But in the Mulgrave huddle, the coach was saying they need to slow down those Doncaster forwards, and he was happy with their work rate, but they really need to make Doncaster work harder for it.
Thank you very much, Claire. That coach being Ryan James at three-quarter time as Young takes the football. Back to Gilling in the middle of the ground. It was a lovely looking pass into the middle, but it was a risky one at that. Leading out the race out there is Fitzpatrick. Goes one way, then the other. Sporting a fancy old big. Gets a handball to see Cavallis. He kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line. And a nice outstretched mark taken there by Grocott. On the left boot, kicks it up towards Galache. Has to get down low. It was a fantastic effort. The umpires paid it, so he's about 55 metres out from goal. Screaming for it is Muller, who now leads towards the pocket. The kick was absolutely perfect, and it was a good lead by Muller too. He knew when to go, and he takes it in the forward pocket. He's kicked 3 goals already for the afternoon, and this could almost be enough for the Doncaster Football Club.
Absolutely, and I think Steve Muller's almost the game changer right now, and he's been the actual X factor in this game.
So Muller.
Tough angle.
Certainly is a tough angle, but it's only about 20 metres out. So if he kicks it straight and kicks it hard, he'll kick a goal, and he didn't do that. So we went 3-4-1 behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 5-minute mark of this final term, and it's a 4-goal lead now to the Doncaster Football Club, Damo.
Indeed, 9-6 to 5-6 in favour of the Sharks. Certainly a very handy break to have at this stage of the game. Currently 5 minutes into this final term.
Dyson Baker around the ground at three-quarter time.
Yes. Big lead to the Tigers. They extend to 91 points. 16-10-106. They lead Knox 2-3-15. Blackburn 11-11-77. Lead by 38 points over South Croydon 6-3-39. Noble Park 10-9-69. 23 points over Lilydale 6-10-46. Division 2, Bayswater can keep on keeping on. 15-11-101. Doncaster 7-6-48. 53 points for those of you playing at home. 2-point lead to the Blues over the Eastfield Rams at the moment. 10-4-64, plays 9-8-62. And obviously in Division 3, Heathmont 18 points over Glen Waverley. Ringwood by 14 points after Upper Gully kicked 4-9 in that third term. Templestowe by 77 points over the Churnside Park. Baronia back to 8 points over South Belgrave. Mitcham clear by 44 points over the Basin. Wanturna South by 16 points just over Whitehorse. And in Division 4, the Eastern Lions 14 points over Coldstream. Fentry Gully extend the lead to 117 points, kicked 8 goals, 8 in that term. Forest Hill back to 10 points over Park Orchards. Sylvan 66 points up over Kilsyth, and Warrandyte by 71 over Surrey Park.
I'm pushing for Glen Waverley to beat Heathmont BWS.
Yes, we could tell in your voice, Damo. Knowles has it about 65 metres out from goal, receiving a free kick. It's too far out to score. Fiora certainly not impressed that was given. So he'll just pop it up into the hot spot towards the booth direction, and almost ripped it in with one hand. He'll get it back to big fella and slam it over the goal umpire's head. Now that's what they wanted, and they need a couple more pretty quickly too. The Mulgrave Football Club margin back to 3 goals on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 7 minutes gone, final term.
And the way Mulgrave really did it, obviously they had to go coast to coast to get to the other end. Almost tipped the goal that way. Then Doncaster tried to bring it out, but Mulgrave really locked it in, and obviously results the free kick and results the Edinburgh goal, which Mulgrave did almost perfectly in that passage of play.
Well, only a 3-goal deficit Mulgrave have to contend with. We certainly have a game on our hands. Let's head to the reason behind some of these results, and Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap, to go through all the statistics.
The marks inside 50 for the match, 9-3 in favour of Doncaster. Mulgrave only taking a mark inside 50 in the second quarter.
So back in the middle, 9-6 to 6-6. An intriguing contest, this one at Trams Reserve. Doncaster in the lead, but Mulgrave, if they can string a couple together, will come home with a wet sail. But it's the Sharks winning the clearance through Sia Cavellis, who's been quiet this afternoon. His kick went askew off the side of the boot, and it's gone over the boundary line, out of bounds between centre wing and half forward for the Sharks. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast of this one. Radio Eastern 98.1 FM, or streaming live on efl.org.au. It's certainly one to keep an eye on in the final minutes. Doncaster again push it forward with persistence, but Jamo on the half-back line in the way for Mulgrave. He takes the mark over to West, who loops the hand pass over the top to Siakoulis, who had a quiet third term after a brilliant first half. Shanks the kick towards centre half forward. They got numbers in the back through Wazer. He locks it in and ensures we have a stoppage. Centre half forward for the Mulgrave Football Club. They trail by 3 goals, and we've reached the 8-minute mark of the final term.
In the context of the game, 3 goals, probably, it seems like more than it actually is. It's been one of those scrappy, low-scoring, goals are hard to come by. But we know footy's a funny game. I mean, 3 goals can be eradicated just like that, regardless of how most of the game's played out. So certainly, 10 minutes into this final quarter, there's no reason to turn the radio off just yet.
That's right. And it's been a game of patches too, as Stokey wins the free kick. He's kicked towards centre half forward, was dropped off the chest, and a couple of Doncaster players lock the ball up, and we have yet another stoppage. Centre half forward for Mulgrave. And as you mentioned, Seymour, if a side gets on a purple patch, the momentum certainly carries through with them. The Lions have a chance here. They're deep inside their attacking zone, but the Sharks are content to hold it up and waste ever more time off the clock. We have another stoppage, 45 metres around for the Mulgrave goal.
You should never turn it off, 98.1 radio.
Never.
Listen, Paul.
Never.
Well, a free kick's been picked out of the pack, and it looks as if it's going the way of the Lions here, which will be very crucial because it's within scoring range.
West.
Yes, West looks as if he is the recipient. He's certainly poised to accept the football, probably just beyond his range here. He's got a couple of options running past, but he opts to hang on to the ball, remain composed. Also a couple of options leading deep.
Ooh.
He's going to sell some candy, got the hand pass over the back, Siakoulis, the hand pass missed the target, it's Stokey. They still have numbers here, the Lions, at the fall of the ball. Fiora's there, Jamo affects the tackle, a free kick's been paid for a high one, and it's going the way of Doncaster, a missed opportunity for the Lions.
And 25, I think.
Yep, correct.
A 25-metre penalty for the Sharks. See the Cheese putting on a lead here, and Narcus has the football, and it was a good kick too to see Cavallis. Takes it and takes off now. One way then the other, linking up a handball, tried to find Galache, but it was chopped off there by Willsmore. Got a little handball out to Cruz, who was dispossessed of the football. The umpire said play on. Got great gang tackle there by the Cheese and Carroll to force another stoppage across the half-forward line now for Doncaster, who hold a pretty handy lead here. 3 straight kicks. Still anyone's game though. West at the stoppage wraps up Galache in a tackle and tried to break it, but to no avail. The ball up. Crowd out here today.
Reasonably strong.
Always is at Shark Park.
Yep.
Big function. Can't half tell who Seymour's been going for today as the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Local boy, got to stay within the municipality.
The Manningham Whitehorse area, Seymour.
Yes, that's it.
Must be why he enjoyed reading out those Doncaster scores so much this afternoon as the ball comes back in Kinnear. Got the knock on. I think it's a free kick to Mulgrave. It is. So Butler.
Yeah, back chat against Johnson, so a 25-metre penalty.
Well, that's what they want too.
A pin for a yellow
and
card.
he's
And a
been
yellow card.
taking
That's a big loss.
nothing from the players today, the umpires.
Yeah, a little bit ticky touchwood, a little bit
Well, you
sooky.
weren't out there, so you can't say that.
You can't judge what he said to him.
Don't agree with it.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Free kicks for the game, 30-16 in favour of Mulgrave.
So the away side
reaping the benefits,
so to speak. The ball's back in the middle, just waiting for it to restart now. Butler.
Got to move the ball, Mulgrave.
You tell him, Wilbur. Short passes on. Finds Fowler, player who needs to lift in this last quarter. Mulgrave to get up. The kick was a pretty good one too. Booth, little in and under handball, got it away to Knowles, who might be able to swing this one back. Knowles, no, he pushed it to the right-hand side. That really would have fired up the boys, reducing the margin back to only 2 goals. But it's now within 3 kicks, 17 points the margin at the 12.5-minute mark of this final term.
And that's what I was explaining just before, that Mulgrave got to use the ball and really got to move it quickly and catch Doncaster unawares, because that's exactly how they need to get back in this game, and they almost did it just then.
Well, Ben Johnson's been the barometer in the Doncaster midfield. Now that he's off for 15 minutes, it's an opportunity for Mulgrave to capitalise as Fiora sends it back into play for the Sharks. It's a long ball towards centre wing. Brilliantly done by Siakoulis with the body contact. Got the hand pass on. A hack kick towards centre half forward. It's hoisted high in the Galache direction. He falls to ground. Lubachisi amidst a pack of Lions. And again, the weight of numbers proves too much. Gilly gets the hand pass to Jamo. Kick towards centre wing. The Lions are running in numbers, streaming forward through Roper. Spears the ball towards half forward, but to no one in particular. And the relieving mark is taken by Pearson for the Sharks. Again, just another wasted opportunity for the Lions. So Pearson Looks inboard to Fiora at centre half back. Opts for the switch. It's a dangerous ball. He's turned it over. And as a consequence, Siakoulis runs onto it. Kick towards centre half forward. Missed the target at the end. It's a 2-on-1 contest. Brilliant tackling there from the Doncaster defence. Ensures the ball is going nowhere. And we'll have a ball up right on centre half forward for the Mulgrave Footy Club. A goal here. And certainly the floodgates will start to open up.
It becomes a little bit more interesting. Still 17 points, so just the 3 straight kicks needed.
Well, a tackle. It's an errant one. Yes, and Fowler will receive the 3 kick. And he's within scoring range, only 45 metres out from goal, directly in front. Gee, this is a big kick in the context of this game, boys.
Absolutely. And Mulgrave's started this quarter absolutely game busters and gone out aggressive and really put Doncaster under pressure.
So Fowler,
huge kick.
The recipient from a high tackle. This could bring Mulgrave to within 11 points and see this game go well and truly alive and ignite it. It's a long ball. It's hoisted high. Is it straight? Doesn't have the legs. Umpire.
It is.
It does have the legs. The umpire's in 2 minds here. They're going to confer. So a controversial sort of climax here. Yeah, they'll confer. The Doncaster players are appealing. Now the field umpire just trying to have a discussion with the goal umpire.
There's a bit of hargy-bargy going on. They wouldn't want to be giving away a
goal.
free kick.
Goal is confirmed. Mulgrave in the game. So the margin now only 11 points. Doncaster 9-6-60. Lead the Lions 7-7-49. A controversial script to this game, boys.
Yeah, well, obviously we can't tell from this side of the ground, but the goal umpire, not sure what exactly they would have been talking about, but eventually it came back in, signalled a goal. What's the margin now? 11 points it goes to now. If they're just waiting for the scoreboard to be updated here. 11 points, 8-7-48 to 9-6-49 to 9-6-60. So
great special comment.
Yeah, waiting for the update the scoreboard there. It's up now 9-6-60 to 7-7-49. Doncaster's late.
So the ball back in the middle of the ground. It is certainly game on now. Gladman was stolen there by Mackenzie, but had a fresh air shot. Siakoulis came in, got stripped of the football. Here's Anarchis, bangs it on his boot. Kicks up towards the half-forward line. Grocot's in a wrestle there with Jamo. Ball bounces on a wrong and over the boundary line and out of bounds. 15 and a half minutes gone here in the final term. So we've gone halfway through this quarter. Nice close game on our hands. Mulgrave with the last 2 goals to get themselves right back in this match. The big man Gladman got the handball away to Siakoulis, who grubbed it in through. Yeah, he's really stepped up the pace, hasn't he? Handball away, but a good tackle laid and will have a bounce. Well done there by Aaron Fiora.
Just a reminder, in terms of the ramifications on the ladder, a Doncaster win would virtually sew up a spot in the finals. So it's very crucial.
It certainly is. Off the play, free kick to Mulgrave, so Fowler was the recipient. In the middle of the ground was Gilling. It was a risky kick. He dropped what he probably should have taken, but he had time, got it back to Siakoulis. As Paul said, he's really stepped it up and drives the ball out towards Young, who's got a bit of dash. He's got a good left foot kick too. Inside forward 50, it goes over the top. It was picked up there and slammed up towards the half-forward line. Now Doncaster away. The kick goes over Galache's head towards the Lumachisi direction. He was held without the football. This is a bouncing ball. It might have gone the whole way, I think this has bounced through for a goal. Fantastic goal there by Carroll. And Doncaster, well, they got the answer that they were after too, as a free kick would have been paid to the big full forward for holding on about 10 metres out, but a bouncing football through for Doncaster and a ripper goal scored there by the Sharks.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what Doncaster need, because I think we all thought that Mulgrave was charging, and which they were, but a much-needed goal that settles things down. And Mulgrave, they just got to settle down now and really put all they've got here in the next 8 or so minutes.
Sharks 10-6, Lions 7-7. That goal gives a bit of breathing space for Doncaster. 17 points up now. We've reached the 17-minute mark of this final term. Back in the middle, Fiora wins the clearance for Doncaster. Anarchis hacks it inside 50. A fickle bounce. It favours the Doncaster forward in Galache. Gets the hand pass back. Shot at goal from Parker. Is it across the face? Yes, it is. Only a minor score. In fact, that was off the boot of Siakoulis. And Doncaster move on to 10-7-67. A handy point over Mulgrave, 7-7-49. We've got a free goal ball game on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So it'll be Young. Risky kick, but it was a good one too.
Need to take the game on here.
Yeah, Siakoulis. Certainly been doing that in this final term. Drives the ball into the middle of the ground. The kick wasn't too flash, though. Here's Colinari on the right boot. Gets it away to Kinnear. Thumps it inside forward 50. It was a skew-if kick off the boot.
Oh.
Which way's this one going to go? Galache's looked lively in this final term. Going after it was Cruz on hands and knees. In fact, that was Goldsmith that time. He was wrapped up by C. Cavallis and will have a bounce about 55 metres out from the Doncaster goals.
Similarly for Mulgrave, they're only percentage behind at the top 4 on the ladder.
19 minutes gone. Fiora was the third man up, won the tap down. Fowler was there to pick the ball up, but he was ripped apart in a tackle and will have a bounce just inside the forward 50 for Doncaster.
Paddock in front of Semertzidis as well. A quick kick out of the stoppage from the Sharks could be dangerous.
Correct.
By throws it up. Before the ball. Nicely done by Mackenzie. Bouncing football. Oh, this might have almost wrong and in. It came back a fair old way. And through for one behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard sees it a 19-point margin now to Doncaster. We've gone 19 minutes. Once again, Young goes short to Siakoulis. Short passes on. Dangerous kick because when you try and kick it over the top of a ruckman's head, it has to be perfect. And that kick wasn't. And Ewan McKenzie stuck up the big mid and he pulls in a good mark about 40 metres out, 45-degree angle.
I think he's quite comfortably been the best big man on the ground this afternoon, Ewan McKenzie. He's just exuded dominance in every single situation that he's been in. He's a strong man, he's a leader. He just knows where to go and how to get his hands on the footy. So be a nice cap to his afternoon and Doncaster's afternoon if he can put this one through.
Well, you'd think they'd just be about home if he could slot this one. McKenzie comes in, sets sail, keeps it on its line till the last moment and through for a minor score. Perhaps another handy point there. They're certainly going to have to kick 4 goals to get up in this game at the Lions, Damian Watson.
Indeed, as Young sets about doing that by bringing it back into play. Looks towards the western side of the ground. It's on centre wing. And the umpire, the boundary umpire, has adjudicated it's gone out. So it'll be a throw in. About 70 metres around from the Doncaster goal. Let's head to Grant Campbell for some Choose Tap match stats.
Intercept marks for the game, 18-6 in favour of Doncaster.
So the ball back into play.
Intercept.
Mulgrave certainly need to get a move on now. The alarm bells are ringing. Anarchis tries to break the tackle. Got the hand pass out to Siakoulis, who again was very slippery. Got the hand pass. It missed the target there in Schimmelbusch, and as a consequence, Mulgrave are away on the counter-attack. It bounces in the midst of Gilling, who takes it on centre wing. Mackenzie lumbering after him, but Mulgrave have the numbers. Young on centre wing. Brilliantly claimed there by Colinari.
Well
and
done.
It forces the turnover. Mark taken at half-forward by Grocott. And they've got a chance here, Doncaster, to get that all-important ceiling score. Full forward, Semertzidis, one-on-one, off the ground. It's a goal. It's going to be paid. That will be the sealer for the Sharks.
It was Siakoulis who might have got that.
It is indeed. James Siakoulis from 1 metre out has scored possibly the sealing goal. And Doncaster 11-9, 75. Lead Mulgrave 7-7, 49.
And the biggest cheer after that goal that went through was from Jimmy Siakoulis' border collie. Just went absolutely bananas on the boundary line. He knew that Daddy put that one through.
So Doncaster look to be, well, it's far to say running away with this game, but
I think they're home now.
You have felt that they have been the stronger side at different parts of this game this afternoon, and Cradle enjoyed a couple more coming down to the faithful end in this final term as back in the middle again. Fiora on hands and knees gets a handball out to Jarvis, who goes further afield out wide. This is pretty good play here by the Sharks as they drive the ball forward. There's holding on Mackenzie, but it might just hold up okay there for the Cheese. At the back of the pack, Willsmore got the handball away to Young. They link up okay here to Leicester. Young copped one high, but the umpire said advantage paid. Well, it should have been as they were running away with it, Mulgrave, but the umpire will bring it back and it'll be a free kick to Young, who's had an excellent game today for Mulgrave. Waste no time with it. Has an unnecessary bounce, but still gets away with it. Handball away to Willsmore. Young copped one again.
Oh.
So Kinnear might just cop a card here.
Yeah.
The people on the boundary inform the umpire of the advantage rule, please. It's about 4 for the game.
It's a fair call too, Subi.
Yep.
Young will switch it out wide to Gilling, who's got Jamo by himself out on the wing, and he'll be able to take off. He's got West in space and Knowles if he wants to use them, so he goes to the Knowles direction. It just needs to sit up for him. The kick wasn't good, and Narcus was right on his hammer, played it to himself, and eventually went over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Just around the grounds quickly, a full-time score coming through from Central Reserve. The Glen Waverley Hawks, 7-8-50 were gallant in defeat. They went down to Heathmont 10-10-70, 20-point win to the Jets.
So the umpire throws it back in. That was okay. Pearson on the left boot, kicks it up towards the Kinnear area. He's been relatively quiet today, Kinnear. Grocott, good tackle there on Jamo. 55 metres out from the Doncaster goals.
And another one coming through from Tormore Reserve, a nail-biter. 8-8-56, Baronia. They were good enough to just hold on against South Mulgrave. 7-10-52, a 4-point win to the Hawks.
Yeah, it's very exciting stuff. Hawks back on track here as the Knowles gave the old 1-2. Can he keep Mulgrave alive here with a good kick up towards the half-forward line? Ramboldi strapped up this afternoon after that first term. Sees the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. So we've gone 23.5 minutes here in this final term. Home side Doncaster leading this one by 26 points. Pye throws it in. It's on the half-forward line for Mulgrave. Ramboldi dropped it, came out. Carroll got it away to Fiora, who had a good game also. Fiora today, a lot of possessions, kicks it up towards the hill direction, used his body nicely. Galache came in for some support. He's clever enough to slot this one through Galache, and you give the guy a rap and he kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Commentator's curse.
So probably had a little bit more time than what he thought then, Adrian Galache. Been one of his greatest of days. Short pass to Gilling. Right in front of us here in the broadcast position. Nice spot to call football from, Damo.
Indeed. Very scenic too, with the Yarra Rangers in the background.
So Young, floating kick out towards Jamo. It was a good kick. Takes the mark off to Gilling. Backline for Mulgrave's had to work pretty hard today, and they've done a good job in most of the clinches. Anarchis, geez, he's had a lot of the football. Out wide towards Schimmelbusch. Couldn't quite go at it. Peduto hits the deck as well, and plays a pretty feisty tackle, but will have a bounce on the wing. So not too long to go. Hope your team's got up this afternoon or winning in a close one as you're watching the final terms around all the games in the East this afternoon. Kinnear from the stoppage, got it down, Willsmore. Little handball back to Jamo now, to receiving it again. He'll switch the play. They've done this okay. It's getting up to half forward is where it breaks down. Leicester in towards the middle of the ground. That was a good kick. It was direct. And in taking the mark there is Fredericks. On the right boot now. He kicks it inside forward 50. Now that is the best play that they've almost had for the day right down the middle of the ground there.
Junk time. A little bit too late.
And Adam Booth has it about 40 metres out. So he's going to waste no time. The big full forwards kicked 2 goals so far this afternoon. Trying to make it 3. It's an important kick. And he's pushed it to the right-hand side. Maybe rushed himself a tad too much. And over it goes for a behind. 25 points the margin. Now Doncaster leading this one. Damo out at Shrams Reserve.
Indeed, 11-9 to 7-8 in favour of the Sharks. And we've gone almost 26 minutes in this final term.
Soupy, if I can just quickly get an impromptu stat from you, thanks to TrueStat. The mark's inside 50. Was that Mulgrave's only second or third for the afternoon?
They've taken 4, but they took their other 3 in the second quarter, so they didn't take any in the first or third quarter, and that was their first in the last
I think
quarter.
it's certainly been their Achilles heel this afternoon. They just haven't had anyone to go to in front of goal.
Matt Schimmelbusch, the steadfast defender, to bring it back into play, and he finds McKenzie on the half-back flank. The Sharks have been stifled to an extent from Mulgrave today, but they have lifted when required. Kinnear wins the front spot against his opponent in Goldsmith. Fires out the quick hand pass to Anarchis. Spearing ball in the Muller direction. Couldn't quite reach him, but a brilliant tackle effected by Siakavelis. Not according to the umpire, it was too high. And Mulgrave have the free kick on half-back. Mark taken between half-back and the centre of the ground. The recipient there is Knowles. Swings round onto the right foot. Short pass finds Stokey. Deep in the centre of Shrams Reserve. It's a bit of a glue pot there, but the remainder of the surface is very pristine, considering the conditions we've had. Stokey chips the pass, finds his intended target in Gladman, and the big man sends a probing kick into the pocket. At the back, a free kick against Pearson by the looks of it for a push-off. And Booth will be the recipient, and he'll have a shot from 45 metres out.
Just quickly around the grounds,
Yes.
Park Orchards have stormed. They kicked 2 quick goals. They currently lead Forest Hill by 8 points.
Wowza.
In the meantime, Booth, a shot on goal from 45 metres on the final siren. It's a goal. It's probably one of the best Mulgrave have kicked all day, but it's too little too late. And the final scores at Shrams Reserve in this crucial Division 2 clash. Doncaster prevailing 11-9-75, defeating Mulgrave 8-8-56. A great 19-point win at home for the Sharks.
Definitely was. And Doncaster really now almost cement themselves in third position now. Seymour, look at they showed the brand of football. Even though it wasn't pretty, but they showed enough to prove to us that they can really put that type of football when it comes to finals.
No doubt about it. After 16 weeks of season 2014, it's official. The back-to-back dream at Doncaster is still alive.
Let's hit boundary side thanks to Life Care. Alice Mulvogue is at ground level.
Yeah, here with Doncaster coach Andrew Tranquilli. Happy with the win there?
Oh, happy that we got the win. Definitely it was a finals type game. Both sides knew what it was all about. A couple of patches where we let ourselves down, but no, I was happy with the boys with the way they regrouped after half time and we came out fighting.
And you mentioned finals there. Is that something you start thinking about now?
I haven't done the maths on it yet. I'm not sure whether that win makes us 100%.
Yep, you're in.
Yeah, I mean, we're close, so we'll definitely.
Yeah, you're in.
Terrific. I say good. So we've had a tough 5-6 weeks where basically every game had to be a win. It's good. I'm glad for the boys now that they can take a little bit of that pressure off now.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the physicality and aggressiveness of the game. Is that something that you thought the boys did really well today?
We did well for the majority of the game. When we didn't do well, when we let Mulgrave take control of the ball, I thought that dropped off a bit. But overall, no, pretty good.
Congratulations on the win. Go enjoy.
Thanks very much. Alice Mulvogue down at ground level with the victorious Doncaster coach Andrew Tranquilli. Great stuff, and certainly, as Wilbur mentioned, a very important win in the context of the season in Division 2 because Doncaster have now almost certainly asserted themselves
It's not
a spot
100%
in
certain,
the finals.
yet, is it?
Almost
It
certainly.
is. I think it is. Just having a look at it, having a look at other results that have come through, I think they're just about home and hosed the Doncaster Football Club. A loss next week won't make too much difference.
No, that's a fair call.
And they got East Bill in the last round after, of course, having the bye.
No, you wouldn't have thought they'd be losing a second game of the season to the East Belwood Football Club. I'm looking forward to the girls getting in the room so we can hear the Doncaster Football Club belting out one of the best theme songs in the Eastern Football League.
I haven't heard it yet.
It's an absolute crack, and they certainly will sing it with gusto. AT seem pretty excited with that win, and I'm sure the boys will be as well.
Yes, absolutely. And let's have a look and run through the major goal kickers for the afternoon.
Will
Taylor has them.
Yeah, I certainly do. Let's start off with the winners. Doncaster, Steve Muller with 4 goals, 3 goals to Zach Carroll, and single goals to Greg Jarvis, Chris Anakis, and Jimmy Grocott, and of course James, you might have picked me on this one.
Sorry, James Siakavelis.
There we go. I'm not good with last names. But Mulgrave, 3 to Adam Booth, 3 to David Wesser, and singles to David West and Tim Knowles.
Consolation prizes, those 2 late ones from Adam Booth. He really did not have a 3-goal game. He had a pretty dark day at the office. The media manager of the Eastern Football League has just been stuck behind the laptop all day, working tirelessly. Might take Monday off of work with sore fingers. Dawson Baker, you got some scores from around the grounds.
Tom Harley marks and goals for Park Orchards. The Sharks 10-12-72, leading Forest Hill 8-11-59. To answer your question, you were talking about where Doncaster sit now in terms of their finals aspirations. On the scores that we've had throughout the day, North Ringwood Mooroolbark's probably the only one that we haven't had a real update from all day. But we go through, North Ringwood currently sit on top, Croydon second, Doncaster third, 9 wins and 6 losses, percentage of 112. And then if Mooroolbark have lost this afternoon, it'll be a two-game gap and 12% back to Mooroolbark, and then Mulgrave on 94%. So they'll both be even on points, but about a 6%.
I think we're acting on the pretty safe assumption that the Saints have got a win over the Mustangs today, just judging from the little bit of scores we got earlier on this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a 22-point lead at half-time, so you'd think that they'd manage to finish it off.
Downstairs now into the home rooms at Shrems Reserve, the Doncaster Football Club. Take it away.
Did win, yay! We won. Correct. Anyway, we'll move on from Doncaster because that tends to get a little bit interesting as we keep going on. I think that was the perfect time to leave that song alone.
Indeed. And speaking of which, let's head off to Grant Campbell, who's been working tirelessly all day, thanks to Yarra Valley Water, with the two-stat match stats. Where were the big winners on the ground?
Well, in that final quarter, the hit-outs was absolute landslide, 17-4 in favour of Doncaster. Clearances 11-8 their way. Marks inside 50 and the intercept marks both 4-1. And the free kick count was, interestingly, 12-1 in favour of Mulgrave in that final quarter.
What was it for the afternoon, just if I could interject? Because
Yeah,
it just felt like that Mulgrave certainly had the rub of the green there.
It was 36-16, and that includes 23-7 in the second half.
Oh, that's a big indiscretion.
One area, Doncaster, you're not going to win come finals time if you give away 36 free kicks. Looking at the other match stats, the hit-outs were 58-36 in favour of Doncaster, yet the clearances were 42 apiece. Not much difference in the contested and uncontested ball. The inside 50s, 51-50 in favour of Mulgrave. The two stats that I think really stand out are the marks inside 50, 11-4 in favour of Doncaster, and the intercept marks 18-6 in favour of Doncaster.
Yeah, that was a big one, Damo. I mentioned before the game started that the only chance Mulgrave had of winning this game, they weren't going to get goals from the midfield, is they had to get guys like Booth and Fowler and their big boys taking marks in front of goal.
Let's head down to the room. Sorry, Seymour, just quickly. Alice Mulvogue is down there with a special guest.
Yeah, I'm here with Ewan McKenzie of Doncaster. Good win today. Were you happy with it?
Yeah, it's a great win for us. It locks in finals for us now, so we've just had that pressure valve released, and now we can relax the last couple of rounds. And yeah, we're all stoked about it. We knew this was a game against a solid opposition that we really had to beat.
You got a headset on down there, Frankie?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for joining us, mate. Congratulations on the win. Your game today, how do you go about it when you know you're coming up against a younger ruckman? Obviously, the smaller body, not as much experience. Do you enjoy that more than going up against the older boys?
To be honest, I just approach it as it is, like wait for the first bounce and sort of get a read on how their body language is and what they're going to try and do. I try not to think about it too much because I think you can think yourself out of it and end up falling over, and I did that a couple of times today. So
you certainly played a good game, mate. You've been named in the best. You're sure you wouldn't even notice or look at these things. Named in the best on 10 separate occasions in season 2014. We know how good your final series was last year. Are you starting to think about that again now, or is it still a week at a time, all the usual cliches?
Yeah, it is the usual cliche, but now that we've locked it in, we can sort of start thinking about that and just preparing ourselves a bit better, and start really spreading the word through the young fellas about what they've got to do and how to lift up a cog, and just, yeah, I could mention all the cliches, but yeah, you're right, like you just got to do these things now.
Yep.
And especially now, yeah, as I said, it's locked in, we can really focus in on the last couple of weeks.
You seem like a very resilient group. There were a couple of occasions today where Mulgrave looked as if they were going to push you and sort of whittle back the deficit that they had, but you always had an answer. Where does that resilience come from?
Look, it's probably the leadership group
that
always does it. The same blokes like your Knackers, your Shimmers, even Pearson. He's just the back line, and especially Parksy too, just the voice starts down there and it really generates through the team. And once we sort of know that they're going to have a fight, it's something we addressed earlier on when we were losing the close games, that they were always going to come back, and we didn't really have an answer for it. And we went back and addressed it when we had the 2-week bye, and it's something we've actually really worked on. It's starting to pay off for us now, so it's great.
It's been a couple of seasons now since you made the move here to Shark Park from Noble Park, from the Bullring. Are you feeling part of the furniture now? Obviously, the fans and the playing group have embraced it. Do you feel like a Doncaster boy?
Oh, definitely. I absolutely love it down here. I'm so happy with the choice I made. No mark against Noble Park, but just the blokes down here I've met, and I had a few close friends here, so that always made it a bit easier to move over.
And you've obviously seen a few decent players come through Doncaster in your short time here. I won't touch on all the usual ones, all the usual superstars. A couple of young fellas who I like to talk about a lot, Andrew Rambaldi and Jez Grocott, who come across from Donvale. You must just be stoked to see guys who are 19, 20 years old having some serious impact on senior footy.
Definitely. The four young Donvale boys that we got in Grocott, Malloy, Rambaldi, and even Latino, who's been injured, but just the things they bring, and they're just so excited to learn. They're the typical sponge of an 18, 19-year-old that just wants to learn, and all they do is listen and ask questions, and that's the best thing you can ask for these young kids, is knowing how willing they are to want to learn, and how when you do actually say something to them that you can see them do try and do whatever you've told them. It's it's what you love about footy clubs, when you can teach young kids how to play the game.
Frankie, it's BWS here, mate. Congratulations on another Doncaster win, and you guys will be playing finals, which is always great to hear. The ground out here at Trans Reserve, it's in really good nick. You guys are a bit spoiled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, can you tell that to the Shire? We'd like to get some good lights out here so we can train on the top oval.
Yeah, well, I'll agree with that. The lights are shizen, so let's get some new ones out.
You can't see the bottom oval from here, but that's not as good, and the lights are starting to go shit there. So.
The lights are starting to go bad, I think, is what he said.
And not live, is it?
No, we beeped that one out. Don't worry, Frankie.
And that theme song as well of Doncaster, it really fires up the whole club after a game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. After round one this year, we had one of the old boys who wrote the song, and he belted it out. So it's always good to see that we've got something original, and you take a bit of pride in it, having something different to everyone else, and you always try and add a little bit and belt it out every chance you get.
Does the bye come at a good time next week?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just we've got a couple of blokes with niggles, like Knackers is playing on one leg, so I think he'll be pretty happy, and a couple of other blokes like your Benny Kinnears and Jonos and that who are a bit older, Parksy. They always do better for it, and I think having it the second week out makes a big difference coming into East Burwood and then finals.
And we know AT's been slotting on the long sleeve jumper for 3/4 in the reserves. Do you reckon he might throw his hat into the ring come finals time?
I don't think he's going to play ones. He's trying to tell himself he doesn't want to play twos, when deep down we all know he wants to get another medal, regardless of whether it's ones or twos. But look, he's been great, and he teaches the guys out on the field, which is always good, especially with the young blokes in the twos, and they're flying as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we thank you very much for your time today. You and Mackenzie, a fantastic effort. You were one of the best this afternoon, and certainly enjoy the victory.
Thank you very much, guys.
You and Mackenzie down at ground level with Alice Mulvogue. A fantastic effort from him this afternoon. He was very versatile, not only in the air, but following up his own ruck work as well.
Yeah, he's just a tireless worker. And the thing with Frankie is every time we get Doncaster on a radio game and they get a win, and we always seem to have a chat to Frankie, because he's so approachable and he loves talking to us, and he just loves his footy, and you can hear it coming out in his voice. So another fantastic performance from him, another fantastic performance from the Doncaster Football Club.
We speak about the ramifications for the Doncaster Footy Club, but what about Mulgrave? Does this severely dent their finals aspirations?
Oh, look, if there was... I think the hope before today was nothing more than a mathematical chance. I think when you stack them up against the other sides, I think there are 5 sides in Division 2 that you'd put ahead at Mulgrave at the moment. So they've had a decent season. Since they won that flag in Division 2, I think 3 or 4 years ago now, they haven't really fired a shot, and season 2014 has comfortably been their best season since that premiership. So they've made some good inroads. They've had a good season. They'll look forward to hitting these last 2 weeks head on, having a nice positive finish to the season, and they'll hit season 2015 100 miles an hour. Don't worry about that.
Absolutely. Well, there was a lot of feeling in this game, a lot on the line. I think Doncaster stood up to the... obviously, they faced a lot of pressure, BWS. Mulgrave had a couple of goes at them, particularly in that third term, but they stood tall and always had a quick reply. Yeah, they certainly did, Damo. A really impressive even spread performance by Doncaster today. Usually they're looking towards Josh Semertzidis to be their main target up towards the goals, and he was really well held today. I felt by Cruz down back, and possibly nearly snuck into my votes. But hats off to the way that Doncaster just grinded out the victory today, because that's what they needed to do. They needed the 4 points. It was always going to be a tough ask. Mulgrave, their form slipped a little bit over, you say, the last month or so, which isn't the right time of the season for them. But Doncaster, well, they're playing good footy at the right time. And I tell you what, the bye has actually worked out beautifully for Doncaster next week. A week off, come back, full steam ahead, and a week out from the finals. Absolutely. Well, let's head across to those all-important around-the-ground scores across the Eastern Football League with the EFL Media Manager, Dyson Baker. Doesn't look happy.
Yeah, look, I'm absolutely rapt to be in the social media chair this afternoon. I can tell. I think I've done a brilliant job, to be honest.
Don't say so yourself.
Ball win at 24-11, 155. Cricket score against Knox, 7-6-48. 107-point win there to the Tigers. Blackburn, 13-11, 89. Got over the line against South Croydon, 7-6-48 by 41 points. Montrose, 19-12, 126. Won by 97 points. East Ringwood, 2-7-29. Norwood, 16-17, 113. Just made a little bit of a statement this afternoon. 69-point winners over Roval, 7-2-44. Bayswater again made a statement, 20-11, 133, defeating Doncaster East 10-8, 68 by 65 points. East Burwood 12-11, 83. weren't good enough against the Waverley Blues. 18-6, 1-1-4, 31-point win to the Blues, who kicked 8 goals to 4 in the last quarter. As we know in the radio game, 11-9-75, Doncaster, 19-point winners over Mulgrave, 8-8-56. Glen Waverley Hawks weren't good enough, as we heard, 7-8-50, 10-10-70. Heathmont, a 20-point lead to the win to the Jets. Ringwood, 13-11-89, a 2-goal win over Upper Ferntree Gully, 10-17-77. A 95-point win to the Stowe, 18-8, 1-1-6, defeated Chermside Park 2-9-21.
Not just defensive.
Goalless in the second half were the Chermside Park Football Club. 8-8-56, Baronia. They were tested all afternoon, particularly in the second half after they just got over the line against South Belgrave, 7-10-52 by 4 points. No score yet coming in from Mitcham. That's a big one, but we're waiting on. Wanturna South, 32-point winners over Whitehorse, 9-13-67. Defeated Whitehorse, 4-11-35. We know that the Eastern Lions have won by 4 points over Coldstream. We don't have the score as yet. Ferntree Gully, 26-20, 176, 144-point winners over Nunawading, 4-4-28. Park Orchards, 12-12-84, kicked 8 goals to 2 in the final term to run out winners over Forest Hill, 8-12-60. No final score yet from Kilsyth and Sylvan. And Warrandyte, 22-9, 141 to 85-point winners over Surrey Park, 8-6-54. Just an update on the scores that I don't have, if we can get them in ASAP. Kilsyth and Sylvan in Division 4, Mitcham and the Basin in Division 3, Lilydale and Noble Park, Vermont and Scoresby, North Ringwood and Mooroolbark is the big one that I reckon there's a few people here sweating on.
Absolutely.
And it's now time to start thinking about our votes, everyone. 3, 2 and 1. We'll start off with you, Will Taylor. You've been in the special comments chair all afternoon and you've seen all the action. Who do you feel were the standout players from the afternoon?
Yeah, look, I gave my 1 vote to Jared Cruz. I thought he shut down on Josh Limachese in that defensive line, especially in that second half, really almost made the difference in that game. But I gave him the 1 vote. 2 votes to Ewan McKenzie. I thought his tireless work in the ruck and also, I guess, his leadership as well throughout that game was outstanding. I gave him 2 votes. And Zach Carroll, an all-round game effort for him with 3 votes for him. So that's my 3 votes to Zach Carroll from Doncaster.
Fair enough. I gave 1 vote to Zach Carroll. I thought he was fantastic, a great 4-quarter performance. Gave 2 votes to Ben Johnson. I thought he was a real integral part of that engine room in the centre, particularly in the second term when Doncaster needed to make a break and establish that buffer away from Mulgrave. And I gave 3 votes to Ewan McKenzie. I thought he was very versatile, displayed great effort and aggression at the football, and I think he was a standout today. Let's head to Paul Semertzidis. You're 3, 2 and 1.
Yeah, it was pretty similar to you guys. Obviously, there's some special mentions. Matty Schimmelbusch, I thought, was fantastic. And I thought that Gladman had a good game up against Ewan McKenzie. And Lou Machese and Cheeseman were pretty good as well. No good if you're lactose intolerant. But my 3, 2 and 1 for the day, I gave 1 vote to the big ruckman, Ewan McKenzie. I thought he was superb. He definitely was the best big man on the ground. He had a seriously good influence in and around the stoppages. 2 votes goes to the boy from Mulgrave, Dean Siakoulis. He had a quiet third quarter, but the work he did in the first, second and last quarters was that good you almost couldn't notice it. He was absolutely brilliant. And 3 votes got to go to Zach Carroll. He started in the first quarter. He was still having a real red hot crack deep in the fourth, the last term. Kicked a couple of goals as well. I thought he was super.
And Ben Warren-Smith.
1 vote today to Dean Siakoulis from the Mulgrave Football Club. Absolutely thought he was sensational and really worked so hard to get his side back into the game and then to potentially go on with it, but just didn't have enough support today running around the park. I thought David West and Jared Cruz had really good games for the Mulgrave Football Club as well. As far as Doncaster goes, I couldn't fit Zach Carroll into the votes today, and I really do apologise for that. I gave two votes to Ben Johnson, who I thought worked right around the ground for most part of the game before he was sent off in that final term was pivotal, and he just had a cool head in a lot of tough situations, and his disposal was pretty much bang on today for Ben Johnson as well, so he gets my 2 votes. And I stewed over this one, and I've given my 3 votes to Ewan McKenzie, who I believe was, as we've all agreed, that he was the best man on the ground. And when I look back at the game and realised that Jarvis really didn't give him much of a chop out in the ruck for the whole afternoon, that really did sway me to give him the honours for the 3 votes today. Congratulations on a fantastic game, Frankie.
Indeed, and finally, Grant Campbell, the man who's been sitting in the Choose Match Stats chair all afternoon. You're 3, 2 and 1.
Well, the unlucky person for me was Mackenzie. I left him out of the votes. I thought his work rate around the grounds was outstanding, but I'd say his hit-outs had no relevance on the game. He's won it by 22, but the clearances were level, so I didn't think he generated many clearances from his hit-outs, so that's where I'm going to be a bit harsh on him. I gave 1 vote to Sia Coolers. I thought he played about 3.5 quarters of good footy. I think the third quarter he was okay, but he did have a long, quiet patch. He's maybe a Trojan workhorse contender.
Yes.
2 votes I gave to someone who hasn't been mentioned. Aaron Fiora, I thought his ball use out of defence was excellent. And 3 votes, I didn't think you could go past the Stevie J of Doncaster, Zach Carroll. I thought he was outstanding today.
And Will Taylor with the tally.
Just doing some arithmetic there, Wilbur.
Yes.
With that 3 votes from Grant Campbell, he gets it with 10 votes. Ewan McKenzie with 9 votes, 4 votes to Dean Sercruz, and 2 to Ben Johnson, Aaron Ferrara, and 1 to Jared Cruz.
So Zach Carroll taking home the Ferntree Gully Motor Group Player of the Day today. Gets a fantastic $100 gift card from Coles or Myer. So
boy.
Plenty of ways to spend that avocado, Seymour.
Yes, I can think of a few.
And it's not the only award we give on the afternoon, gentlemen. Of course, the Trojan Workhorse Award for not the best player on the ground, but someone who worked tirelessly right throughout the afternoon. And name got a fair old mention during the votes. I think we'd all be in agreement that Dean C. Coolers from the Mulvogue Football Club would be a well-deserved recipient of that award. Here.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
So Dean C. Coolers, the winner of the Trojan Toolkit, no longer a toolbox, but it's still got the kit, and that's the most important part. Lots and lots of tools, which is what we like. To the gang out here, it's almost time to wrap things up, and I'd like to thank Dyson Baker for doing a fantastic job on pre-match today and running the whole day, really, from go to woe on quarter time and three-quarter time. And thank you, Dyson. Is there, just before you go, has there been any other quick scores come through?
Oh, couldn't have been timed any perfectly. I've just got the final score. North Ringwood 73 have defeated Mulvogue 30. Yeah. So that confirms Doncaster's spot inside the top 4. They will play finals in season 2014.
And they'll be very excited about that too. To the team, starting with the Choose Tap stats man, Grant Soupy Campbell, mate. Thank you for last Sunday, thank you for today, and thank you for tomorrow morning. Again, great stuff.
You're welcome, BWS. When you don't turn up, then there has to be someone to make up for you. 3 quarters of entertaining footy. If you can't sleep during the week, watch the replay of the opening quarter. You'll be asleep within 5 minutes.
Well, the boundary riders this afternoon were the 2 girls doing a great job, thanks to Life Care, and we thank them, starting with Alice Mulvogue. Another good game of football you've seen now, Alice, and the heavens were kind to you today too. No need for an umbrella.
Yeah, it was. We made a good friend in the interchange lady for Mulgrave, who let us kindly sit under her little hut there to keep out of the wind. So all in all, it was a good day.
Good stuff. And for her debut effort on the EFL Media Team on the boundary side, to Claire Schnackenberg. Hope you enjoyed yourself, Claire. We really enjoyed the work that you did down boundary side and look forward to you joining us again very soon.
Yeah, thanks. Had a lot of fun down the boundary, so looking forward to more matches.
Great stuff from our Life Care boundary riders today, as it was also great stuff from our debutant special comments man, Will Taylor, stepping up into the big time.
Didn't sound like his first time.
It didn't. He did a fantastic job, mate. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and we look forward to seeing you again on the huddle on Wednesday for some curly tips.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic game out here at Shrants Reserve, and a bit about finals atmosphere here, and enjoyed the whole day.
Paul Semertzidis, he was here Wednesday, he was here Saturday, he'll be here again tomorrow. We love our local football, don't we, Seymour?
Oh, look, we certainly do, especially here at Shrams Reserve. 2 minutes from home. Just going to wander up the road now to the Doncaster for a couple of pots. Feel free to join me.
You've never been there before, have you?
No.
Not for about 6 hours anyway. Damian Watson, always a pleasure to have you join me as the wingman for the play-by-play call on a Saturday afternoon. It wasn't the most exciting of games of football, was it? But nonetheless, Division 2 footy and 2 good sides out on the park.
Absolutely, a lot on the line too, and good to see the Doncaster faithful in celebration tonight.
We had a great day out here at Shrams Reserve. Thank you to the Doncaster Football Club for having us out here to call this big Division 2 clash. The final scores out here, Doncaster Doncaster 11,975. Mulgrave were 8,856. We can't go without forgetting Giggles, Bruce Prest from the Loft Productions, who just puts lollies in front of us all day and then leans over us all day and gobbles them all up. We're signing off out here at Shram's Reserve. Back to you, Barry Cotts, for the BGC Bayswater Post-Match Show.
Leave the batteries in that haven't leave the battery in.
Yeah, did you use the spare?
Yeah, so that's like
fine.
a half used one.
Yeah, it's all right. It was a halfie anyway before you went out there.